Hey guys, we watched the fucking Royal Rumble. We're gonna talk about it for like 2 hours, probably.
Yeah, we watched the 25-year-old Royal Rumble. Welcome back to Talking Smark. I'm Shawn, and that guy's Tony.
That's me.
If you want to watch this one, it's on Peacock here in the U.S. under Royal Rumble Season 10, Episode 1.
Can I just say, that fucking annoyed the shit out of me when I went on there to do it, and I typed in Royal Rumble 1997, and Peacock's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
That's
that,
exactly
dude.
why
Oh
I'm
my
giving
God.
the people the news, because I've gotten used to that, unfortunately.
Can I say again, I fucking hate Peacock. Just go back to the shitty network. Like, even the shitty network was better than Peacock. I mean, it won't matter. Pretty soon, he'll sell it to Disney. It'll all be on Disney Plus. We can watch fucking Triple H fuck a corpse on Disney Plus. It'll be great.
I agree, except they'll definitely remove Katie Vick. I bet Peacock already has.
Probably, yeah. I think was there something in this show? There's one part of the show I was very surprised they only bleeped and didn't remove fully. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. So a little background on the event. Per the January 20th, 1997 Wrestling Observer newsletter, easy for me to say, from Dave Meltzer. As of January 14th, a total of 28,800 tickets had been sold, totaling $310,000. Combined with paper, which was said to have been fairly significant in town by the early part of this week, the total tickets out had to be close to 35,000. WWF officials are crossing their fingers that a huge walk-up will take place on the day of the show. Besides being among the most expensive local promotion ever, combining the top radio and television stations in the market and the local newspaper, along with literally millions of discount coupons throughout Southeast Texas on cans of Dr. Pepper and at all the Taco Bells, along with customizing the commentary on the syndicated challenge show in the market, there is a Rocky-like storyline involving a hometown favorite wrestler going for the WWF title, and the final appearance of the area's biggest drawing card of a previous generation combines both the American and Mexican audience in the top two draws. In addition, the pay-per-view is being blacked out throughout southeastern Texas. The Alamo Dome is considered a great walk-up building as WWF officials continually remind themselves that there was once a truck and tractor pull event at the building that sold 30,000 walk-up tickets.
Wait, so hold on. So if you are in that area of Texas, you either go fucking watch it live or nothing.
Yeah, you can't order it. So I didn't know that until I read the newsletter, and that was really interesting to me. Because, I mean, we kind of know about that. Like, we watched baseball when we were kids. We know about blackout games.
Football's horrible about that, yeah.
Oh, exactly. And, but it's interesting to hear about it in wrestling, because you don't hear about that often. So they really were trying to drive people out to the event.
I mean, the more I learn about WWE, the more I go, they do a lot of filler seats and shady shit.
Event, the picture going around right now as we're recording this. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's kind of funny about seat fillers at day one.
Seems pretty legit, but yeah, maybe we'll talk. We'll have to talk about that if we get into our like news of the week type deal
for sure. But that's kind of what this is giving me vibes of. But
so it definitely. I will say, just in there. Definitely did. I did mention it did look like a pretty packed house, so I think that ended up working. Their actual attendance maybe not as exaggerated as some of them, 92,000 people when there's like 60. You know.
So Meltzer has some insight on that. He says the WWF, since the beginning of the promotion of this event and continuing as late as this weekend, when most officials conceded as a true sellout is highly unlikely, have been heavily pushing the idea that Shawn Michaels would be going for the world title on a show that is going to draw 71,000 fans. Apparently, the attitude from a promotional standpoint was Vince McMahon is that no matter how the show actually draws, that by constantly publicly throwing out the 71,000 figure, most people who didn't attend the show live will actually believe that was the case. It wouldn't be a surprise to see that figure used on the pay-per-view event, whether the real crowd is anywhere near that figure or not. After some worries going in, the WWF ended up drawing the second largest paid attendance in the history of pro wrestling in the United States for its Royal Rumble pay-per-view show on 1/19 at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. While the show fell short of the 71,000 mark bandied about in all the pre-match publicity, The total in the building was 60,525 fans, although it was announced on the pay-per-view as 60,477, but a later compilation revealed the slightly higher number, with 48,014 paying $480,013.
So there were legit a fuck ton of people.
Yeah, it says all the figures were topping even optimistic company expectations before the show, and in the final few days, they sold 20,000 tickets, mainly at the $5 and $7 mark, with discount to coupons from Taco Bell, that according to locals were being picked up as fast as they were printed.
So here's the thing, though, like, you haven't done it, but I've been to a Mania,
right?
And I had a decent seat at it, but like, I couldn't imagine being up in the cheap seats, like, because we've had cheap seat tickets and we've had fucking awesome Jake's dad gets all the good stuff tickets in a suite. Yeah. So like, I know going to an event and having a not good seat ruins it. And maybe I'm just old and grumpy anymore. But
no, you're not old and grumpy, because in 2017 I sat behind the Mania sign at Elimination Chamber, and it wasn't sold as an obstructed view seat, so I still ended up paying. It was, but I ended up paying price. Like not full price, because it was discounted for like 2 weeks before the show. We want to fill the arena price, but it wasn't discounted at an obstructed view price, which was bullshit, because you couldn't see shit, because it was also the Elimination Chamber. So I have the WrestleMania sign and the chamber and the stage, so I couldn't even see it drawn.
Once we get the Patreon thing going, I'll have to throw up all my shitty pictures from Mania and show the seat. But yeah, it was a decent seat at least. But like, I couldn't imagine, like, even if it's only $5, like, you're going to be there for 3 hours in a shitty seat that you can't see anything in. Especially then, like, now at least we have a lot of really big HD screens to look at. Like the last time I went to a wrestling event, I didn't watch a ton. Like, most of it I was watching on a screen, and I was just going, I could have watched this at home with commentary.
Well, and that's actually
and a toilet right here, and vodka, and
That's actually the case with this particular event. I noticed during the opening match, which we'll get to here in a moment, between Triple H and Goldust, there's a point where they put Marlena on the screen and the crowd pops, which tells me that the crowd is actually popping more from watching the screen than watching what's going on.
Well, I mean, there's also something else popping. It's her nipples the whole match.
Well, that's Terry Runnels for you.
Yeah, dude, she had some aggressive nipples. That's fact. But before we get to that...
this ended up being the second highest attended wrestling show, or the only larger paid attendance for a wrestling show in the U.S. was Hulk and Andre, which Dave says the actual estimated attendance is around 78,000, not the 90,000 or so they said. But yeah. This is a big show.
I think even to now, this is probably one of. I mean, I don't know. The WrestleManias now are all fucking massive arenas.
Huge. They have the ones in Dallas just now and stuff.
Yeah, for the time, I'd say up until they started doing every pay-per-view is at a big venue. This probably stuck up there through at least through maybe 05, 06, I'd say it was probably up there.
I think until they started regularly doing stadium shows for Mania again. So they started toying with that idea around 18 again was in Toronto in a dome, and then 19 was at Safeco Field in Seattle, which is a baseball stadium, but it's a stadium.
It's a stadium.
So it's not maybe football stadium size, but it's bigger than an arena. So But so I think, 20 they went back to MSG, but that I think was just about commemorating the 20th anniversary. So pretty much around for the last 15, 16 years now, it's been a stadium show. But at the time, this was a big deal.
Yeah. So there were 3 matches.
Here was just at the Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah. So there were 3 matches that we didn't see. They were undercard. One of them was on with the free for all, which was a thing before. Was it every pay-per-view back then? Before Heat was the pre-show.
I think it was actually on the TV Guide channel, if you remember that. So your
maybe
and it would be
because I'm used to, because I think this is a little bit before I started watching fairly consistently. And I know, like, when you and I watched, like, a lot, it was a Sunday Night Heat, and that went straight into the pay-per-view, which we got on the secret Walt box.
Yes.
The classic secret Walt box.
Of course.
But
we didn't always get them.
We hoped to. So there were 3 matches. just a spoiler alert, there's a big pairing with AAA here, obviously because they're down in Texas near Mexico. Kind of like that Alberto Del Rio got the title to go to Mexico thing.
Exactly.
So there's a bunch of AAA talent on the show. I'm going to say right off the bat, I know almost nothing about AAA Lucha. Like I know the name, like the names. I hear it. I go, oh yeah, I know the name. Couldn't tell you who it is. Couldn't tell you what they've done, other than like the top guys. So.
Well, yeah, especially around this time. I heard just recently on Something to Wrestle With, Bruce said that they were actually looking to buy AAA around this time. And I think that was probably more reactionary to WCW's success with cruiserweights over the last year than actually actionary. Yeah, because absolutely. I think by this point, AAA had kind of been damaged goods. A lot of the guys that really represented the early run of AAA were actually working exclusively for WCW by this point. You're talking about Rey Mysterio. You're talking about Conan. You're talking about lots of guys that all those guys. Yeah. So I mean, unless you're actually from the area and you really follow Lucha, I don't think you're going to care too much.
No, so there were 3 matches. I'm not even going to bother going through them. One guy was important, and important is just I when I look them all up on Wikipedia, Hysteria became super crazy. So that's really the only name that in America mainstream became someone we know.
And ironically, that was what Meltzer says, what was reported to them as easily the best match on the card, and it was given 3 stars. But he wasn't there, so I don't know who
that was the Blue Demon match?
Yes, right? So it says it was Octagon and
Tinieblas Jr. and Blue Demon.
Jr. and Blue Demon Jr. beat Heavy Metal, Avismo Negro, and Hysteria, who is formerly super crazy at this point, because he used to be super crazy in ECW already, and he will be super crazy again.
Yeah.
It was a 14-minute match, and he said Hysteria did a spin plancha off the top to the floor. So cool stuff from Super Crazy.
Yeah, but we didn't get to see it. It wasn't on this. I'm not going to go try and find it. I'm sure it was. Nope. I'm sure the match that was on the free for all, however, was a minis match, which we didn't watch, but it sounds hilarious on paper. Yes. I just want to read Meltzer's description of this. Mascarita Sagrada Jr. and La Parquita beat Mini Vader and Mini Mankind in 4 minutes and 29 seconds when Mascarita pinned Mini Vader with La Magistral, which I didn't know what it was. It is a pinning predicament. if you do what we did just to verify, the first one you see is for some reason fucking Undertaker doing it to Lesnar. Don't ask why, but I remember this because I don't remember where it was, but I recall somewhere like a wrestler said that they were taught, like they asked for a cool pinning predicament, and maybe it was Jericho's book, his first book, where he taught it to somebody in the back real quick for a match. I don't know. I'd have to look, but I know something like that came up because Jericho came up through Mexico, and so he knew all the lucha stuff. So,
oh yeah. My favorite sentence here in Meltzer's review of this free-for-all match was, for whatever reason, the manager Mini Paul Bearer, who works in Mexico with Mini Mankind, wasn't here. The 4 were really held back and didn't even do one trope. So they didn't even do... Actually, it says taupe. This is...
didn't even do one
I think he meant to say trope. Sorry, Dave.
So I do find it a little bit surprising that they wouldn't have their, stolen gimmick minis win.
Tope, like Tope Suicida, but he didn't even know how to say Tope.
Tope.
Wow, Dave. He wrote Taupe. He didn't.
I'm just saying.
Accent it.
We are a highbrow channel who would never drink in podcasts, so we would spell that correctly.
Well, he kind of spelled it correctly. He just didn't really. It's a really dumb word to use. I think it's dumb when Excalibur says Tope Suicida too, because it's just fucking Spanish for suicide dive. It's a phrase we've been using for years.
I get it.
Just
call it the fucking Suicida Jalapeno and be done with it.
Yeah, just call it the flying jalapeno and get out of here.
Yeah, fucking just yell out a Jerry Lawlerism and be done with it. Or a hedonism.
Meltzer did actually see that star. He gave it that match. He gave it a 1.5 stars. I bet I would probably give it less just because I would really want to see Mini Paul Bearer.
Now I will say, so just to be sure, I'm sure everyone knows, but Meltzer does 5 stars, right?
Yes, you do. You do 10. Meltzer does 5.
Okay, so I'm not changing mine to be Meltzer. I'm unique.
And also, the 10-star rating system is not based on a division of fractions. So, like, Meltzer giving a match 3 out of 5 stars does not equate to Tony giving a match 6 out of 10 stars. It's just an entirely different scale.
Yes, and the math is very difficult. We don't have time to go into that. It would take hours to explain the methodology, but just know, like, a 2.5 star is a 5, but a 3 is not a 6 or a 7. It's a different number. Math is hard, and kids, don't do math. You don't want to do math.
Oh yeah, no.
Wait, hold on. Do math. Fuck, hold on. Wait. Moving on.
I wouldn't. The show opens with a package about Shawn consummating the boyhood dream. I thought that was interesting.
That's a strange word. Yeah, I didn't mention it, but yeah, they did do it. They're really pushing the whole Shawn Michaels is grown up and he's felt emotion and he's an adult now. Whereas we know in real life in the back, he's currently doing a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
and
that was originally mistaken. Yeah. I thought that this main event was considered to be Sid's best main event, but it's actually the previous one when he wins at Survivor Series that's considered to be his best match.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Considered to be okay, but definitely not his best.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll disagree because I thought it was. We'll get to it. Much later. Yeah. We have a lot to. Well, we have some to go through.
So this video package has Shawn losing the title to Sid at Survivor Series, like I just mentioned, and that was a match that was actually originally intended for Vader to win until Shawn supposedly complained that Vader worked too stiff or he was too smelly.
Yeah, he smelled
so Sid was slid directly into the spot, and this is according to both Bruce Pritchard and Jim Cornette. The creative wasn't even really changed for Sid to fit into that spot. They just kind of were like, "Buck it, Sid." Then,
I mean, on that note, I do go into that a bit later. I guess we just hit it now since you mentioned it. They fucking ruined Vader. I hate that he's like a cowardly fucking begging off heel. He's like a monster. Yeah. Just let him be a monster, bro.
Oh yeah, I definitely we'll definitely brush on that.
Yeah, because he has a match later. And we'll get into it in that one for sure.
This is supposed to be the culmination of Shawn's boyhood dream storyline. They play really heavy with him losing,
which is dumb because we just heard this a year ago when he won the Iron Man match. Like that was the boyhood dream. Boys can only have one dream. I'm pretty sure that's legally.
Well, and apparently Shawn backstage was already kind of tired of having Jose Lothario in his corner, so he wasn't really into this Rocky storyline by the time this was going down.
Well, no, and I think I think it was because he respected him, but he wasn't as invested in him as he says. Because I've read Shawn's book, and he respects him, but he didn't love him like a father. He's the dude that trained me, and then I went on to be a way better wrestler than he was. Story of the fucking wrestling trainer's life, basically.
Right. And if we do go back and do a revisited on this, I should probably cross-reference this book a bit more because I do have that, and I kind of didn't even think to really go back and do that today. We are totally a professional and prepared podcast who does
Big Bottoms, the Shawn Hickenbottom story. Wait a minute, hold on. I don't think that'd be a good name though. That's up there with Diamond Dallas Falconburger and the Falconburger restaurant.
So when the video package ends, we get some twangy country stock music that sounds like that first level music from Cruising USA when you play the Arizona level. It's like
we'll get that a couple times. So.
And the show is brought to you by Starburst Fruit Twists, which I don't think are around anymore. I don't even think I remember those. So those sound good.
They must not have been important, but
sounds like a Twizzler made of Starburst, which I would have eaten.
Can only be good because Twizzlers are ass.
I would go back and eat a Starburst fruit twist. I probably would.
Yeah, I'd probably do it now.
So we kick off with a huge but quiet fireworks display. Like I'm used to them making noise.
Well, yeah. So I don't know if you've noticed, but we've watched 2 shows now. And is it just me, or does it feel like they don't dial in their sound before they start? Because like when the show starts, all you hear is screaming people, and then like Vince screaming from 10 miles away. And you can't hear the fireworks.
This is pure Vince. Welcome everyone to the 1997
that is one big thing I'll notice, and they reference it a couple times. We're getting real close to Vince being a storyline character at this point, where he's officially recognized as the owner. It happens a couple times. We get some hints, but it's funny because I feel like he's starting to perfect his his later classic Vince voice, where he only ever because that's all he does. But in the show,
that voice is gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he kind of goes in and out of it throughout the show. Also, I think it's funny. I know a lot of people shit on Vince on commentary. I've never actually really had a problem with him. I thought he does fine. Like he's not offensive to me.
He's just not what I would call a play-by-play guy.
What a maneuver! Yes, Vince, that was a maneuver.
What a maneuver! What a maneuver!
Yeah. I mean, there are several points, and I pointed them out because I'm weird like that, where they blatantly called not only a wrestler the wrong name in that 3-man AAA match, but also just moves. Vince says the wrong thing, and I literally say, I don't think that's right, and then JR goes, that was a blah. I was like, ha ha ha! Thank you, JR. I thought so. Pretty sure that's
JR's
what that
doing
was.
Great here. This is like so. We get a 3-man booth here. We get Vince, JR, and the King. And interesting trivia. This is the first ever event that JR wore a cowboy hat.
Was it really?
Yeah, Vince had been trying since 1994 to get Jim to wear a cowboy hat, and he supposedly finally got him to here. And here's a quote from his book, Slobber Knocker. He says, I put a hat on at the encouragement of the chairman. Being the typical defiant and egocentric performer that I have been, I didn't like the idea. It was stage dress. You can come to Oklahoma anytime you want, and you'll see more people not wearing a hat than do. But the stereotype is that we Okies, we Southerners, cowboys and Indians, all that good stuff, we have a hat on. And when JR said that to Vince, apparently Vince said, JR, we are stereotypes.
That's fair. I mean, it's funny, though, as much as JR didn't want to do that, that's kind of like his fucking first book was The Man in the Black, Under the Black Hat.
Oh, that's his newest book. His newest book is Under the Black Hat. That was a quote from his first book, Slobber Knocker. I think they're both available on jrsbbq.com. Shout out to JR, who is almost done with his skin cancer treatments right now.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Shout out to JR.
I can't. Is he? Yeah, because he's currently not.
As we're recording this, as we release this he'll have already hopefully been addressed as cancer free, and he'll definitely have already been at least at the reunion show there, at the comeback show, a homecoming show there at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, because they announced him on television. I don't know why they would announce him on television if they didn't know for certain if he was going to be there. Hopefully they didn't do that without his permission. That would probably piss him off sitting at home.
I mean, would it piss him off any more than any of 1,000 things Vince did? No.
Like,
again, that's a long-going.
Under the Black Hat. Apparently, Under the Black Hat is all about like from '99 and onward. So it's all about when he was basically bullied.
Yeah, no, literally, it's insane to think how long he was it's a wrestling meme at this point that Vince will do anything to make him look stupid. That's his thing.
Yeah.
And no one knows why, because it's not like JR and him don't hate each other.
JR talks about it. He just says that's how he thinks. He's just childish like that. He likes childish humor, and he thinks it's endearing, and that's how he thinks he's a friend. And,
there's a lot of cringy shit at every WrestleMania that we look at and go, well, that was only for Vince. That was for Vince. That was that was it. Watching Gene Okerlund make out with fucking man, that was for Vince. No one else. No one needed to see that. Just Vince.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of weird shit that's just for Vince, apparently they had an ad during this pay-per-view for the Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hector Camacho fight that Vince and Titan Sports were promoting that March. I know Vince was also trying to make a deal with Mike Tyson at this time, not just to come in to do what he ended up doing at the following WrestleMania in '98, but to promote his fights because, Vince wanted to get into boxing promoting it. He was already pretty big deal in promoting, and the big boxing promoter at the time was Don King, and I think Vince wanted to win at everything he did, so that was a weird thing.
Which is, so far Vince is literally the only one at wrestling, if we're honest. Like XFL, twice gone. Twice gone. Box that bodybuilding, no. All we got out of that was fucking Lex Luger. No one wanted that. No one deserved that.
So we do kick off the action in the ring with an IC title match between Hunter Hurst Helmsley and Goldust, with Goldust making his way to the ring first as the challenger. And
Marlena in his corner, obviously, and then I'm pretty sure they made it sound like this is Mr. Hughes' first appearance. Was this the first time he's been with Hunter?
Yeah, well, so people talk a lot about Hunter being buried after the curtain call and that he was originally slated for the '96 King of the Ring spot. but by October he was already the IC champion.
Yeah, they buried him for. It wasn't as big a burial as any.
By this point, he was already starting to get a push, like for real, because he won the title. He won the IC title in October. He won it from Mark Marrow. So we're not talking about like the super prestigious IC title here. We're talking about a title that was just held by Ahmed Johnson, then was vacant, then was held by Mark Marrow, and then won by Triple H.
He who shall not be named, Ahmed Johnson, will be referred to because he fucking ruined this show. Holy shit.
Oh, we've got a lot to say about a lot of, but keep with it here. Triple H is trying to find himself a pretty decent mid card run here by the end of '96, beginning of '97.
No, yeah, he was on. Here's the thing: if you're on TV consistently, I'm sorry, even if you're losing, you're not being like Kurt Hawkins lost matches for 3. He was still on TV. Brooklyn Brawler, he lost, but he was on TV. You're not being buried. Like wrestling fans go crazy with that. Like a loss or a lot of loss, it doesn't mean you're being buried. Being buried is me taking John Cena in EWR and making him lose to women week after week after week, and then releasing him with 12 overness. That's buried.
But even if that's not the right word, even if that's just the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, using the wrong word, even because Triple H was moved out of the King of the Ring slot, we're actually looking at a time here when being the King of the Ring is more important than being the Intercontinental Champion. That's kind of interesting.
Well, this was also, he got moved out, and that was Austin won, right? He was the one that got put in.
Yeah.
Which it's crazy to think, like, if without the curtain call, would Austin have ever cut that promo? Who fucking knows? Crazy shit.
Yeah, a lot of people say basically that wouldn't have happened, but Stone Cold would have gotten himself over somehow, but still.
I mean, he was already getting over, but yeah, that without that, we might not have Austin 316, which is probably the most well-known wrestling catchphrase. Like, people that don't know wrestling, like, Austin 316. That's fucking right.
Oh, yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whooped your ass.
That's what?
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 Wasn't for years later. What?
I don't know. I think even Austin regrets the what thing.
Oh yeah, no, he does now, but it was worth it for the long run. I like it. I still do. It's worth it because now we only do it when people deserve it. But so there's something
so he was out there with
in the formatting of the show. So Goldust comes out, and then they cut to the video package talking about the match. And in that video package, it sounds like an Entertainment Tonight or an Extra or a TMZ.
Yeah, they didn't have a good voiceover for any of the packages in the show.
I don't know if it's Pettingill or who it is.
Maybe, but like
Sean
later
Mooney was gone by here.
Yeah, but later they had those.
Triple H's ego is bigger than his stock portfolio. That one that popped with that.
Yeah, like the video packages are okay, but like the voice, like later on when we get that voice, the epic, that one. It's not here
but
yet.
This I think goes back to one of your previous points. It seems like it's going to be a promo package for Triple H. It ends up being a promo package for the match, and it cuts to a clip of Jerry Lawler asking if Goldust is a queer. But they queer.
They bleep the word queer, but yeah, he's. Are you? Am I what? A queer.
And then he's no.
And then here's the fucking mind-blowing thing, right? I mentioned this here. That was a face turn. Saying you're not a queer is apparently a face turn.
That was a baby face turn in 1996 or 97. That's awful.
And I said that. I'm like, it's also basically, and then in that package also, we find out that Triple H basically tried to kidnap and rape Marlena. That's what basically... Like,
okay, so I was gonna say we're tit for tat here. Last week on the show, we did the Battle Royal at Albert Hall, the Prince Albert Memorial Battle Royal. Prince Albert
Battle Royal, Thrasher Mosh, Undercard Memorial Royal Rumble. Yeah.
And in the event, Bobby Heenan said that it smells like picante when Tito Santana got close to the camera, and then he referred to all of his moves as flying jalapenos or this or that. And
the
I was talking about shit you can't do today. So keeping track of a few things. We have a scoreboard for the show now. Okay, and this is our second episode of the new year and the reboot of the podcast.
Yep,
this is the second episode, and we have 2 in a row. Things you can do today. Face turns because he's not gay, and blatant racist jokes. Yeah. So
also at the very end, I don't know if you caught this, but I think they were trying to. So they said, does Goldust want Marlena or does he want something else? And they put him in. Are they implying that maybe he actually wants to fuck Triple H? I think that's what they're trying to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that was always Vince McMahon's idea of the Goldust character. Was
he just wants to fuck things.
Apparently, this is a JR quote. JR didn't know what the word androgynous meant, and it was Vince McMahon. I want an androgynous character.
You want David Bowie.
I don't want you to know. Does he? Which way? Where does he go?
What's he do? Yeah.
And JR's like, I don't even know what that means. That's and he's not tried. JR willfully admits when he's ignorant and tries to learn. So he's endearing in that respect. But yeah, Vince had an idea for the Goldust character that's basically Goldust is definitely not gay, but that doesn't mean that he's straight.
Yeah, he just
didn't answer that question.
He's like a Freddie Mercury. If there's a hole, it could go in. You never know.
Well, Freddie Mercury has the whole first arc with the marriage and stuff, and obviously Goldust is out here with Marlena and stuff. So you're not far from the truth, and maybe that's.
But yeah, it was a very, very non-PC that would be deleted. I'm surprised they left that in. If I'm on, because I know they delete some stuff. I'm surprised it was
deleted.
Yeah, delete. I'm not
mirrored right now, so I was like, which?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I know it looks like I'm not Hitler. It looks like it, but trust me, if a wrestling fan saw this, they would also. But yeah, so video package pretty racist.
This is the first time with Curtis Hughes, and yes, I do believe so because they both refer to him as Curtis Hughes and Mr. Hughes. Which, when he comes back a couple years later with Jericho, he is definitely Mr. Hughes. But here they juggle with his name; they don't know what to call him.
Yeah, and I know that Triple H didn't. I know just from knowledge, Triple H didn't want him ever. He wanted China off the rip.
Oh yeah, and what I wrote here, and I didn't know that in my brain, but I actually wrote here in my notes, out comes Triple H with Curtis Hughes as China.
Yeah, basically. So the match starts off with a so you guys know how
takedown in the aisle by Goldust, and Hughes just stands there and watches. What kind of bodyguard is he?
Thank you. Okay, so I have an answer to that, sir, because I watched thoroughly. Yeah, I put in there. So Goldust runs out, takes him out, and Hughes just backs up. Goldust beats him for a second, and then Hughes with a really aggressive fucking double finger point at Goldust as
He's
they leave.
I'm but finger your butt.
Yeah, but then they get in the ring, and then here's the key though. Here's the key. He's not a bodyguard. He's his butler. That's not a butler's job. So
that's right. That's why JR's just like, I'm just calling it like I see it. I don't think he's a bodyguard. I think he's a butler.
Yeah. So that was. I had a whole paragraph basically about that. Of what the fuck. What? Okay, got him. Nice point. What the fuck was that? But right away, Triple H goes for pedigree. Just finish it off early. Replay. Did he already the Warrior thing? Replay that in reverse. No good. Double leg counter into a launch over the top rope, and it looked really bad.
Trying. It
looked bad though. Has Shawn already fucked up his back against Taker at this point? I think that comes a bit later.
No, that is actually at the end of this year.
Okay,
that's the beginning of the next year.
So if
anyone's casket match.
Yeah, if anyone's seen that, the way Shawn took the bump onto the casket looked kind of okay, but it fucked him. Triple H took essentially the exact same bump onto the apron. So I feel like he might have gotten lucky because it looked like his back could have been pretty fucked. So that wasn't good. It was I like to point out these dangerous moments, but
yeah.
And then also another factor, it's cool. It's interesting to watch this because we're right in the transition to the Attitude Era, really, because the ring stairs, they're still blue. The mats, they're still blue. But we're doing Attitude Era stuff. I don't know why I mentioned that, but I found it interesting. I specifically know the blue stairs of death because it's almost Attitude Era, but it's not quite yet.
Well, this was kind of my favorite era, right? Because we kind of started watching in 98, 99, but we used to like to go back and watch the tapes from 96, 97.
Oh, absolutely. No, that Iron Man match was the favorite tape of mine you ever owned. That was my favorite one to watch.
WrestleMania 12 is fantastic, and we'll be covering it this March in Mania March. Mania month. Mania March
month.
Mania month. Munchies.
Yeah.
We will we'll talk about the importance of this year to us, I'm sure, throughout the year, because 97 was cool to me because at the time merchandise didn't move as quickly, and especially in Arizona, when we're not like in the 90s, we weren't as huge of a population center as we are now. So like when you're going to buy toys at Walmart or Toys R Us or whatever, they don't just buy a new case on every order at the time. They buy one when they're out.
Yeah,
so like there's series from like 4 or 5 series ago. They don't order the new series
and
every time.
This was back when I don't know how wrestling figures are now, but back then there was probably a new one every month or two. Like, and it was like Ruthless Aggression 1 through 8, and you look on the back, you're like, oh, I could have had Mankind, and I have fucking Mosh.
Well, that was Ruthless Aggression was later, but yeah, these were the bone crunching action times.
Yeah, but they named the series, like they named them after. Like I still think I have like a stack of them somewhere.
You remember Stomp? That was the ones that came with the weird weapons and the weird armor.
Yeah.
That was around 97 here. I just remember I have a really fond. There was a lot of merchandise that came out in 97, and WCW, while it was the hotter product, they just didn't have as cool of toys.
Absolutely.
And they ended up having the cooler video games for a bit, but they didn't have as cool of toys. And I just, when we were fans in 98, 99, if I could find WWF stuff from 97, I was all into it. Do you remember this drink called like Power Slam or whatever? And it was at Kmart's. And
I do.
Like
yes, I do. They were doing
they were supposed to be Pog type caps, but they weren't Pogs. Yes. But they had the stickers on them. Mm-hmm. I loved that shit. And that's this time when it's half Attitude Era, but the red, white, and blue ropes, the blue apron, the blue stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I mentioned that a little bit, but yeah, so the referee also, we have another, me and my referee problems. This whole show, the referees. Very inconsistent with everything. I think it's Earl Hebner.
This episode we have Earl Hebner. This match.
Well, not all of them, but Earl Hebner's the main ref. I noticed. But outside the ring, they're using stairs. Earl. Like he picks it up and just slams him with it. So that's a disqualification.
In my notes, I wrote Earl counts Goldust to 3. Then Triple H jumps outside, and Earl directs all of his tension to Hughes and stops counting.
And then restarts his fucking
back
count.
Inside the ring to break a count, restarts his count, and then Triple H goes back outside the ring, and Earl follows them and breaks his count.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing, but you know what? The announcers try to cover it up, and Jim Ross calls it, I think he uses the phrase discretionary sanctioning.
He does.
Which I think is a very cool.
They tried. I like it. It's a good effort. Nowadays, they wouldn't care, but they did it.
Well, JR still cares. If you watch, that's what I've been missing lately. That's what I've been missing on my Rampage and my Dynamite is JR's like, you know what? If this referee was just doing his job.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so there's a cool moment here. I'm noted here. Triple H. So outside the ring, the stairs are there. I think Goldust punches him or hits him with them, and he rolls in. And Triple H does like a flare bump onto the front of the stairs, like the face first. I thought that was cool.
That was the second time they were out of the ring, by the way.
Yeah, and also cool, like, immediately, I think I mentioned this later, but it's interesting to see, like, Triple H hasn't dealt with Flair yet, but you can already tell he really idolizes Flair at this point. Because he does the face first bump, I think, twice throughout this match.
Well, Triple H actually worked more like Flair earlier in his career.
He did,
He got too big to work like Flair. And
that's the other interesting thing. Him and Austin, especially, seeing them here, they're not, because Stone Cold got pretty big like Jack too later. Triple H did, but right here they're in shape. Like Stone Cold especially, he doesn't look jacked. He just looks in shape. Triple H as well. Triple H is a little bigger, but he's not, he's not fat Triple H, which is my favorite Triple H. But he's also not, the game yet. So the crowd is pretty dead for this match. They're not super into. I think it's because they just turned Goldust face heel tweener. We don't really know.
It's not just that. I feel like this match works slow. Like they're selling more than they should. There's a point when Goldust has Triple H down in a lock and then has to break it and then thinks about what he's going to do next. And even that takes like a solid couple of seconds. And I know that we're watching with today's lens in mind and we watch faster matches, but a lot of this doesn't feel methodical. It just feels sluggish.
Yeah, no, and so there's a couple more. There's not a whole lot of interesting things that really happen. So I will say, It's weird. So Triple H grabs Marlena's chair. You guys remember she used to have like her director's chair she used.
Yeah, so this is the third time they're outside the ring.
Yes, they're already out again.
And while they're outside the ring during the third time, while he's grabbing Marlena's director's chair, the fold-up like fabric chair with the wooden legs, that thing, I saw a lady in the front row who looks just like the lady in Joe Dirt who gives Joe Dirt the Hemi, who like killed her husband when he's working at Molar World. Like she's wearing the same hat, and I was just like, "That's the lady who gives Joe Dirt the Hemi."
I know that movie. Goldust has been working over Triple H's leg. Triple H earlier missed a running knee, and he hit the railing, which started the whole like. I get they're trying to do a little scientific. Like at least there's Triple H's leg is injured. Goldust goes for it. I appreciate that they tried that. Triple H goes to grab the chair. He goes to hit Goldust, but now the ref is like, no. You can use the steps. That's fine, but not a fucking wooden chair. No.
Right.
And then immediately, I don't know what the fuck, in the middle of an Intercontinental title opening match, we got a live interview with some fucking nerdy-looking dad who's apparently a country singer. I didn't even write down his name.
Colin Ray. So they interrupt the fourth time because it actually spills outside of the ring again after the chair. So the fourth time the match spills outside of the ring, it goes, well, amongst this mass of humanity, Todd Pettingill's out here somewhere in the crowd with somebody. And he's interviewing Colin Ray, who's a country singer who was relevant in 91 with a song called Love Me. And means he was relevant a year before Billy Ray Cyrus, and this is 5 years after Billy Ray Cyrus was relevant. This was such a waste of time.
And he like it was super awkward because the dude's like, it's cool, I like it, and then he's like, sing us a song. The dude's like, I don't sing no more. I'm just a weird dad. And he's like, sing your song, and he sings a song. It was fucking dumb. They do this a couple times in the show where they interview people during a fucking match.
Oh yeah, I've mentioned it again later, and
it gets it's pretty dumb.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that happened.
This match is a mess, but the finish has Pat Patterson all over it. Like so, Hughes.
Oh god,
I want to write it. I want to do it how I wrote it down because
I'd like. Yeah, go ahead, give me it.
Wow, I'm speaking Texas. How I read it down. Let me read how I read it. All right, so Hughes gives Triple H the title. Marlena gets on the apron. Triple H kisses her. Goldust uses the belt, almost gets a win. Hughes pulls Hunter out, gets on the apron and argues with Earl. Goldust burns Hughes with Marlena's cigar. Triple H comes out from behind, then nails a pedigree. So much shit happened in like about a 30-second span for like such a slow match that I was like, that is Pat Patterson.
But yeah, so what happened is Triple H fucking won. He retained the title against Goldust.
But it's a bunch of hoopla and bullshit to get there. And
the managers have had no, like up till literally right before this happened, I was like in my brain going, I remember when managers just were there just to be there. Like when wrestlers had managers really for no point, and then immediately everything happened in 10 seconds.
Oh yeah. And Meltzer said, Helmsley has potential, but at this point, he's being pushed only on potential in politics. And because he's got a good head of hair, his work is only slightly better than average, and his interviews and persona are below average. Anyway, that Beethoven character writes a mean symphony, and he gave the match 2 stars.
Ooh, okay. So we're going to counter it because, we're doing my stars. So I gave this 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
So it's pretty close. But so my Meltzer reaction was that was ... I mean, that was a match? ? Wasn't bad, but not good, not even good. If they cut out like 5 minutes, I would have been way more interested. But a match that goes over 15 minutes where nothing happens till the end, I'm good.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 10 for that
one. I think that was kind of a sign of things to come, except so the way the match was laid out is kind of the way a lot of Triple H matches happened later than this.
Yeah, so, like the Sheamus and him Mania match, I think it was specifically, where it wasn't a bad match. It just was too slow. Like if they cut 10 minutes out, it would have been good.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's just Triple H's ego. He wants, because Flair Flair was the 60-minute man. That was his thing.
But Flair goes, no, and he does all that loud shit that we just saw last week on the
thing.
Prince Albert.
Triple H was always the badass heel. He didn't want to be, Flair has no problem playing, oh, fuck this. No, don't punch me. Don't punch. No. Triple H is the badass. He can't do that. So it just didn't make sense when suddenly his match, instead of being a badass, he's just, trying to drag it out. Like, it's like Goldberg. Like, Goldberg can have a good 3-minute match. That's what he does. Put him in a 10-minute match with Regal. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
and garbage. But yeah, it's just Triple H is made to have like 10 to 15 on a good day matches. Like, that's what he's made for. With Michaels in the ring, you can extend it to 15, 20, and I will watch it. With an average wrestler, Goldust is, I don't know, he's better than average. Goldust has always been a good wrestler. So is Triple H, really. But Triple H, yeah, he tries to drag stuff out too much, and I get that he's kind of paying homage to the past where, matches are a lot slower in the past, but like, it's just not, it doesn't fit in with, what I like and want to see.
Right. And I mean, like, I think it's nice to hear you say that now, because I do remember a day when you were a fan of his Reign of Terror, and I thought his matches...
Oh, I still think his Reign of Terror was great. I'm not saying the matches. I just mean, like...
You like the idea of it, but at the time, you were okay with the matches. Now, I think we're able to look at it in a different lens and go, okay, the characters... because I see it on the opposite end. I hated the character. I didn't mind the matches.
Yeah,
because I thought the matches always gave me a hope. Like, it did the right thing, and the matches did the right thing. The face always came pretty close to winning. But that only works when you're the heel champion and people care about the babyface. And in this match, I don't think the audience cared enough about Goldust not being gay to make him the babyface.
No, that's not a babyface.
So this match that's just a fact. Super slow. And I mean, I think it was gracious of Meltzer to give it 2 out of 5 on his scale, considering he gives certain matches negative stars. But this is the kind of stuff that he likes to see sometimes.
I mean, I would. I mean, if they had cut out maybe 2 of the out of ring things and not had that stupid interview, it would have been an 8 to 10 minute match. I felt I would have probably given it a 5. It would have been exactly a mediocre wrestling match. But the way it was not.
So one thing I do like about the format of this particular Rumble is that we don't see all of the Rumble pre-tapes right before the Rumble match. So right here we get a Brett promo and a Mankind promo. Brett one's pretty quick. Yeah. And then the Mankind one is cool because he actually says, if I win, it's going to be a nice day. And I was like, it's nice. That's a year before.
No, I put it right here. Mankind is one of my top 5. I'm doing a list for YouTube just personally to put on the channel for me of my top 5 favorite of all time, just as a beginner. And I've decided Mankind is in that list. Mick Foley is amazing. He is one of the best his delivery in every promo I've ever seen from him is perfect. Yeah. He is so good. And I mean, obviously he also gets thrown off shit, but like, I don't care about that.
We're not into him for being a glorified stuntman. Thanks, Rick.
Fuck off, Flair. No, Mick Foley's amazing. But so there it is. And then we are the nation of domination.
Yes, we cut back to the arena with Farouk and the Nation entering. PG-13, Clarence Mason, Crush, and who is everybody else? Who are you?
So here's I'm gonna read this word for word. I said that we are the nation. Wait, what the fuck is this? 2 dudes, I guess, rapping. Who the fuck are they?
Oh, that's PG-13.
Why are they rapping?
Ice and Wolfie D.
I don't know who they are, but they're rapping over the song.
Team in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and then they were the part of the original Nation. They rapped all the time.
Well, they're rapping over the song. They're ruining the song. They're rapping out of fucking I thought in rap the whole point is you rap in time with the beat.
Well,
they're not.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here.
No doubts. No
I'm
benefits.
giving them the benefit of the doubt here, Tony. We have to argue about this because when they do arena shows, they sound good. But this is a giant stadium, and you're talking mid to late 90s.
You
do not have in-ear monitors. They can't hear the backing track. They're hearing the same echo in the arena.
Why would you ruin the Fantastic Nation
people
song?
Don't know what they're doing in production of a privately owned wrestling company yet. They weren't publicly owned or stock traded yet. They don't know what they're doing yet. for big. They still don't know what they're doing. Do you remember the disaster that was Sting's theme song with the drums at WrestleMania 31? Was that outdoors? That was awful. They still don't know what they're doing when they try to do shit.
Yeah, but
they need an actual audio engineer, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You pre-tape shit. There's a reason studio recordings are the backing track to Super Bowl halftime.
Yeah, I was gonna say the halftime shows aren't actually live. That's why Metallica won't do it, because they said they won't do it. Yeah,
the echo is too bad that unless a whole band is actually performing, and you're not trying to choreograph probably the last time a real band played was Tom Petty. What was that? 2008?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I mean, honestly, that's the only reason I think Metallica could maybe pull it off, because they do play gigantic venues.
They played the Cardinal Stadium. It was $300, and I didn't go.
Yeah, they could do it, but the Nation has, but yeah, they have a lot of people. I don't know who the fuck anybody but Farook. Although I did notice D'Lo. Later on, I noted, I'm like, that's D'Lo. I just got a weird hairstyle, but
D'Lo is usually the bump guy, and D'Lo doesn't take bumps here. Instead, it's a bunch of unknowns.
Yeah,
which I took note of later. I'll mention this after. There's an interview after the match, and when we get there, I'll really touch on it.
Yeah, the Farook interview, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
this follows the same format of the first match. Farook comes out, then we go to a video package about Ahmed. And in this video package, we see both the most. What will I say?
You said his name. I need a fucking drink now. Jesus.
There's the most intelligible Ahmed promo was him accepting his Slammy award. Like, I understood what he said. He's like, "This is for me. This is for you. This is for me."
And I get. But he's got an accent, but like
they played something else from Livewire where I couldn't understand
not a
damn word.
Not a fucking word. And he just was screaming, and
I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but if you guys dispute what I'm saying, go onto YouTube right now and look up Ahmed Johnson's WWF Warzone promos. And,
I'll be an asshole. Ahmed Johnson fucking sucks. He's trash.
No, he sucks as a performer, but I'm not. I'm just talking about my ability to understand him speaking. As a performer, we're gonna get there because this is not a good match.
That's the thing. Like he does speak English. It is English, but like it's still garbage.
I don't understand what he's saying.
That's the thing. Certain wrestlers can like Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't speak any English. He speaks little.
I want to win Royal Rumble.
But his movement and just he's charismatic. Like I
like Shinsuke.
I love Shinsuke. He's one of my favorites.
He was feuding with Lesnar back in 2005.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. But yeah, Ahmed Johnson is shit. And I have in this thing, they're really, 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 really trying to make Ahmed Johnson look like a fucking megastar. Like you could tell.
You know what? I will say the crowd is into him, and that must be the only reason they continued the push. It just must be that the look isn't just Vince liking the guy's look. It's everybody going, that guy's cool. And you know what? I had an Ahmed figure. I bought one because I thought he was cool. Like, he was big. Like, we didn't know what good and bad moves looked like because guess what? When we were kids, we thought it should hurt. We thought it was supposed to hurt. So when we saw guys trying to do moves to not hurt each other, and they looked like they hurt, we thought they were better wrestlers.
Yeah. So
that one looks like it really hurts.
I'm sure other people,
Road Warriors, you liked Ahmed Johnson because it looked like they really hurt people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people have made this. I'm sure this comparison has been made 100 times, but I specifically say here, he is basically what Ryback became later. He is Ryback. They're the same guy. They're both big. Their promos are both mostly nonsense. They both do big power moves. People fucking love them, but they fucking suck.
Yes.
So
we see like some weird footage about Ahmed winning this Kuwait International tour.
Yeah, with a trophy. Like, did we miss the trophy? Like, I thought won the trophy.
I took note of that specifically because of Vader. I know that Vader got like arrested in Kuwait, so I had to go back and check and make sure that wasn't the year that Ahmed won. And no, it was the following year, 3 months after this, Vader gets arrested in Kuwait. And Gerald Briscoe just broke the news on his podcast that the U.S. Special Forces offered to smuggle Vader out of Kuwait in a crate and take him to France.
Why did I wish that was? Oh my goodness, that's
and
amazing.
The best thing about listening to Gerald Briscoe's podcast is you're definitely listening to Gerald Briscoe's podcast. So when he tells you a story about Big Van Vader, you're probably gonna listen.
So yeah, this match. I mean, it's annoying how much I wrote about it for being. I mean, I didn't. I wrote like 4 lines, but so. Farook versus Ahmed Johnson. Farook with the entire Nation of Domination, which is there's at least 8 people out there. We know who like 3 of them are. The others are they're just fun. This is before because when I think of the Nation,
to see who they were during the intro, and I was like, is that Jackie? I can't tell. I don't think it's Jackie Moore. I can't tell.
Yeah, because when I think of the Nation, I think of Farook. Crush was in it, but I think of D'Lo, Mark Henry, that Rock, that core, that.
Well, you think of the Game Wars, which happened later this year. So and then, Crush has to leave in order to join the Disciples of Apocalypse.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's I think this is, from the package, it looks like this is basically the very beginnings of the Nation. We're in the first month or 2 of the Nation. So whatever, but this match, Farook Ron Simmons is a highly respected first Black World Champion WCW before this. He's a good wrestler. He knows how to wrestle. He in the match, he's pretty good. I don't remember a lot about Farook, honestly, because when we started watching toward the Ministry era, he was kind of a side player. Enforcer kind of thing. But he was pretty charismatic in the ring. He's jabbing with the crowd, blah, blah, blah. Who's that, blah, blah, blah. But the whole match is just botched. It's like Ahmed Johnson forgets his spots constantly. Well, right off the bat, Farook gets sent into the corner. He comes out, and you can see him waiting for a clothesline to go down, and Ahmed clearly forgets, and he just kind of does a clubbing. It's ugly.
Well,
the whole match.
I don't think Ron Simmons, the man behind the Farook character, I don't think he's a big fan of Ahmed Johnson, right?
I mean, not from what I've heard, at least, from an outside perspective, not a lot of people fucking were.
No, but to his defense, Ron Simmons in 1992, so just 5 years prior to this. So as Tony and I are talking right now, 2016 wasn't that long ago in our minds. Now, when we were children, it would have seemed a lot longer ago. So the idea of 92 to 97 seems like a huge leap, right?
We're old now.
We're old. So the idea of a 5-year gap between Ron Simmons being the first Black WCW champion to
Farook.
Being basically Farook, and the reason he was wearing the blue helmet was because Vince thought his hairline made him look too old, because his hairline was kind of up here, and he had
it was foofy.
And so maybe Vince isn't wrong or whatever. He wanted him to look younger, but that's why he went from the weird gladiator helmet directly into another hat that also covered his hair. It didn't change anything.
Yeah, because he didn't wrestle in the fucking thing, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. But yeah. So Farook. So next thing, Farook sets up a chair outside. Right. So first off, Farook takes a really ugly bump into the stairs, where it looks like he impales his fucking dick on the corner of the stairs.
One thing I was going to say is I don't think Ron Simmons likes Ahmed Johnson, because I think he thinks he should be in the Ahmed spot.
Absolutely, yeah, that's fair.
We're actually seeing some pretty rough work here, I think, on purpose, which is maybe why we see some pretty weird stuff in this match.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Farook was trying to make. He's like, "Hey, this guy sucks. Just somebody fucking notice." But yeah, he takes a really odd bump into the stairs.
Ron Simmons ends up in a tag team with JBL, with John Bradshaw, Layfield, Bradshaw, the APA, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. But we know that they have literally beaten the shit out of people for fun. We've seen it.
No, we've seen the Meanie incident. Yeah.
We've seen the Meanie incident between JBL and the Meanie, but we've seen the Public Enemy incident between the Acolytes.
I mean, I get it. When people like that come in, you're not that's the thing. I feel like WWE/F, that was kind of how it was. If you're not from here, you're not jacked and big. Get the fuck out, which I'm glad that's changed, obviously. But yeah,
there's so I think our referee here is a strapping young Mike Chioda.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
he's trying to enforce rope breaks, but he's allowing the use of chairs and stairs.
So I mentioned that there's an ugly bump there though, where Farook sets up a chair, like he opens it and sets it on the ground, and basically like
Ahmed.
like an almost a backbreaker, but on the edge of the chair.
Right on his kidney. Right on the kidney.
Yeah, and like I know I've seen that bump where wrestlers kind of take it mostly onto the seat portion. No, he took it fucking straight through the kidney.
Well, I mean, I this match also wasn't mentioned as a no DQ or an unsanctioned match.
No.
I feel like you have to have Cornette in the back being like, "We're in Texas, motherfucker. Every match is a street fight in the South," because like the referees are not doing shit for
then after that, he literally just beats him over the back with the chair. Like it's not like maybe as a referee, I'd be like, well, hold on, he didn't hit him with the chair. He used the chair as he dropped him on it. But when you pick the chair up and slam it, that is basically a disqualification. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't know what to call the move when Ahmed picks up and piggybacks Farouk, but then he just throws him off of his shoulder.
We have dumber stuff first. You're getting ahead of yourself, sir. We've got some other dumb stuff.
I don't want to get too far ahead, but I just wanted to know what you would call that.
Well, so before that, we'll get to that in a second. That's basically right after this. But they did a whole spot where Farouk does a half-ass. It's not the camel clutch. It's where they don't lock the arms. He just kind of yanks on his face. But they did they lifted his arm up like he's passed out. That's not a choke maneuver. That's not all it does is hurt you. You won't pass out from that. Stop. Just stop.
It's a strapping young Mike Chioda. He's new.
It's just, so then they get into the end spot. So Farouk's dominating. He does like a butt slam onto Ahmed, and he's John with the fan. And Ahmed sticks his head into his crotch slowly. This wasn't like if you're gonna like surprise. No, it was like a slow, sensual. Farouk's like, ooh, what's that tickling my nuts? Oh, hello. Farouk is literally an inch or two in the air before he reacts to this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, oh shit. And he's in an electric chair position, basically.
Yeah.
So like Edge used to do that and he would push him up and forward and slam. No, I was actually kind of concerned because Ahmed
he thinks he wants to take him on his back is what it clearly looks like he's going to do.
Yeah.
But he does like a twist and just flings him.
Yeah. So no, I was going to say,
if you look carefully during this match, Ahmed makes sure to flat back and put his own arms back. So it looks like he was intentionally trying to throw and hurt Farouk and make sure he took his own safe flat back.
I'm really glad you saw that because that's what I saw. Like so normally when wrestlers do that, they don't flip. They don't like when the LOD do their finisher unless they're trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Who is it? Is it Animal that holds him? I think he doesn't.
Yeah,
flip
usually Animal holds him and then Hawk comes off the rope with the lariat.
Yeah, if they appreciate you're not garbage. That if Animal doesn't care, he doesn't go with you. He just goes like this, flips your hands back. You're gone. And that's what Ahmed did. He, as they were falling, it looked like a safe bump, and then he pushed Farouk off to take his own bump, like you said. And Farouk luckily landed okay because that very easily could have offset him and put him on his fucking head.
Yeah.
So Ahmed is fucking,
and like I was gonna say, because obviously we know that Ahmed isn't the safest of workers, but like the fact that they've even put this guy in the ring to do shit like this with a legend like Ron Simmons really bothers me. Because
and that's another thing. It's sad. Like Ron kind of got forgotten because of the whole Farouk thing. Up to that point, he was absolutely a legend. First Black World Champion. He was very well respected. Ric Flair said before he was one of his favorite opponents. Mankind said, he was one of his favorite opponents. So,
and we don't go back and watch these Raws week to week from 96 to 97. But I will say that just like you were mentioning the Iron Man match of WrestleMania 12, we also watched the Royal Rumble 96 when Michaels won the Rumble to go to that Mania almost as much. And the opening match, that pay-per-view, this match, let's just mention the finish real quick because it's nothing that fucking exciting.
No.
We get interference from the nation, and then the
entire fucking nation. The entire nation interferes one by one.
They give, instead of calling it a no contest like they should in a classic Southern area where they're just going to have street fights for every match and just decide to do countouts, they actually give the match to Ahmed Johnson as a disqualification, as if one person had disqualified, even though it should clearly be called a no contest. My weird thing about that is the opening match of the Royal Rumble 96 that we've watched so many times is Jeff Jarrett versus Ahmed Johnson, and Ahmed Johnson wins the match via Jeff Jarrett hitting him with a guitar and him winning by disqualification. He actually gets part of the guitar stuck in his head, and that's why we always like remembered watching that one. You can like see the splinter in his skull of like guitar shard.
Yep.
But 2 Royal Rumbles in a row, Ahmed Johnson gets put over as a babyface by winning by disqualification. It's a really weird approach to. You're 12 months later, the guy still can't work, and you still have to give him a DQ win to give him a real babyface win.
Yeah, no.
And then he goes up the ramp, right? And then the nation starts attacking him again, so he comes back down.
Basically, Farook is leaving. Farook's out. He's done with this. Right. Ahmed Johnson gets angry and follows him, and he's immediately and very efficiently distracted by whoever the fuck the guy is.
Right.
Like, he goes, I want to kill Farook, and then goes, hold on, there's a man. I've got to go over. Like, it.
But like, he throws this dude into the steps hard. Yeah. Not hands first. No regard for this guy's safety. So it just seems like Ahmed's here to hurt people. Like, he doesn't understand the concept of wrestling is to not hurt people to make it look like you do.
I also never realized the Pearl River Plunge was such a I don't know if I can ever recall seeing it, but it's a shitty finisher.
So I call the Pearl River Plunge. It's the unsafe Tiger Driver. It's called the Tiger Driver I don't know how to hold you for.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a Tiger Driver that he doesn't know how to take care of you.
Yeah, it's not
all
good.
It is. Not a Tiger Driver 98. I'm sorry, not the 98 rendition.
Yeah, but he throws one of the guys through it. At the end of this, I said he is literally just like Ryback. All he does is hurt people and everything looks horrible. Punk can attest to that very fucking willingly.
Yeah, he drops this other unnamed nation member on the announce table, or I think it's the Spanish announce table. They don't say it.
The French. It's the Rogier.
It's the Rogier. Jacques Senior's.
It is the Rogier or whatever. Yeah, they're there. Fun fact.
But yeah, he drops him right on that table, and then it looks like the monitor falls on the guy's head. Like, it's a pretty nasty bump.
Yeah. So I gave. Give the Meltzer. Yeah.
So Meltzer said about this particular match. Ahmed Johnson beat Farook in 8 minutes and 48 seconds when the entire Nation of Domination interfered for the DQ. Johnson cleaned house on most of them, including pressing Wolfie D and throwing him over the top rope onto the other members.
That was sloppy as fuck, by the way. Yes, he almost fucking fell on his head.
Mm-hmm. And afterwards chased down another member and gave him a Pearl River Plunge through the French broadcast table. Better than expected, 1.5 stars. Tony, what's your rating?
I gave it a 2 out of 10, so I think we're pretty close to on par there.
Yeah, I mean, his
my exact this match was pretty much what I expected: slow, boring, and trash. Ahmed forgot several spots, was sloppy, which is pretty much par for the course for him, for everything I've heard and seen from him. Not very good. Let's move on.
Yes, please.
Unfortunately, spoiler, we're going to have to see this fucking Yabo in the Rumble too. So,
yeah.
And I've got some stuff to say about that too. So, hey.
So we see a Terry Funk promo. He's whispering. My typing his promo is louder than he's talking. And then he says he's born to rumble, but I'm pretty sure he meant he was born to mumble.
And maybe it's because I love Mick Foley and he loves him so much I don't know. But I like the way he delivers his promos with his mumbling, rambling, and then yells. I actually had to Google this because I was like, is he promoting Ready to Rumble? Wasn't that a WCW thing? This is well before that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. And you can say Born to Rumble, but you can't say Ready to Rumble because that's actually a trademark of, what's his name?
Let's get ready. We're going to be sued now. We're going to be sued now.
Damn it.
Buffman?
Yes, Michael Buffer and his brother Bruce Buffer. They both own the trademark to Ready to Rumble.
I wish we owned a trademark to something famous to be rich from words. That'd be dope. Anyone, if you want to give us a trademark to something famous, just let us know.
Trademarks, NFTs, anything. Send them to TalkingSmarkWrestling@gmail.com or
cash,
to
cash
Twitter
money.
Handle.
Yeah, PayPal. We'll set that up if you want to send us money. Trust us.
So immediately following Terry Funk's pre-tape is a Todd Pettingill promo with the Nation, who just lost their match by all attacking Ahmed.
Yep.
And Farook yells at 2 of the unknown members and puts them front and center. And I'm still like, that's not Jacqueline, is it? Who is this woman?
It's not. No, I have no idea. No clue.
So I'm like, why would you? So, okay. here's what I thought about this. It's really not a surprise that Russo was able to come in and take over creative when so much of what's going on here seems so convoluted like this.
Okay,
I get that we're trying to put Farook over as an asshole leader who's hard to work with or whatever, and probably set up the change of the nation. But why not use some talents that you're actually going to get over instead of all these unknowns to eat the bumps and so nobody loses here?
Yeah, no, that's fair. So, yeah, I basically said the same thing. Oh, fancy. I said, hey, that's D'Lo back there. I know him. D'Lo's in the back right. You can see him. And then, yeah, Farook yells a lot. So he calls Ahmed Uncle Tom, which is super edgy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of nothing. There's one dude, Crush and D'Lo are the only two irrelevant people there. Like, yeah.
Right. And they could have used Crush and D'Lo to actually further a storyline, but they're trying not to bury anybody, so they have these nobodies who you don't even know. And I feel like that's why Russo got famous, right? Everybody on the card had a storyline. So, like, even if you weren't burying Crush and D'Lo, you could convince them, hey, this is going to further you. You're in the story. You're in the program.
Yeah, you're doing it. Yeah.
You're going to be on. That's what I'll give him. For us to put you on Raw tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, I don't like Russo. I think he's ridiculous, but I will give him that. He didn't, like, that's what happens now. Like, guys would come up from NXT, super over NXT. Vince would push them for 2 weeks and go, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I want him to lose to Randy Orton now.
Give and take, right? Because there's exceptions to that with Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, and it just seemed so 50-50, and it didn't seem like it seemed like there was a point when Vince lost his trust in Triple H. We'll get into that one of these days, because
we'll have to do a whole discussion. Yeah, but yeah, so it's kind of a whatever vignette. We both think it was kind of pointless, but into another match directly, no other interviews. The
Vader
man they call
to the ring
does he have a nickname when he was in WWE? Because they just named Vader. Is he the man they call Vader?
They called him the man they call Vader.
The Rocky Mountain Monster. They said, it was like, I'd never heard that one, but okay, apparently it's a thing.
Well, Vince wanted to call him Mastodon. Vince didn't want to bring him in as Vader. Vince wanted to call him Mastodon.
So
they called him the man they call Vader instead of so Vader was famous for a feud with Sting.
Yes.
And they called him the man they call Sting. So I always felt like that was a weird, stupid dig at Sting.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's kind of like the FU and the F5 almost, maybe. But
But Vader makes his way to the ring without Cornette. And I've heard that Cornette is just legit pissed around this time that the role of main event switched from Vader to Sid, which kind of makes sense because if Vader had gone to Mania, where Sid ends up going there with Taker, but that wouldn't have been the original plan, right? The original plan was three big matches with Shawn. So there's going to be Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and Mania, 3 in a row.
And I think the end result was Shawn would win, but Vader was going to win the first 2, I think, right? And then Shawn gets like the big comeback.
Well, there was a lot of wishy-washy shit going around on this time, but the Vader run into Mania would have been a big payoff for Cornette, right? Because he would have been in Vader's corner. So it kind of makes sense that Cornette was really pissed off and tired of managing around this time because he was managing Yokozuna before, and then that got squashed early.
I mean, I mean, he's no Jimmy Hart, but he was managing quite a few.
He's no Jimmy Hart. You take that shit back.
So we got
is the greatest manager of all time.
Vader alone against the Undertaker. And Undertaker's in.
Before Taker's entrance, I just wanted to mention there's a computer printed sign that says it's Vader time. This is 1997, and it's got the blood drip font. Like somebody went to a Kinko's and had their shit copied onto a big giant orange construction paper sign. I love
There's a couple signs later on that we see that are pretty un-Vince appreciated. We'll talk about those too. I'm sure you saw them.
But high-tech shit with the computer printed sign. I really like that.
That was neat. So it's Vader versus Undertaker and no managers. At this point, Paul Bearer's already basically turned on Taker, probably twice by now. This is shortly after the Boiler Room Brawl.
When Bearer actually joins Mankind and hits Taker with the urn. So this is like right after the initial turn, but before any of the Kane stuff. So Bearer still dresses in the black.
Yeah,
he's still black.
I did mention that. I said so. My intro to this could be either pretty good or garbage. I doubt it'll be in the middle. Vader can work. Taker can work. but Vader's been known to be kind of, he either is all in or all out. So I said, I was kind of excited for this, but I did say Taker's entrance is in full effect. He's already gone into the full Taker entrance.
So yeah, I loved it, except when you see the light ballast come down, I was like, what the fuck are they doing with the light ballast? And then Jerry Lawler's like, what is that, a flying saucer? And I was like, okay.
So, and the thing is, I don't know what it was doing, because like later on we know it's for Sid, but like, was it just
pointed at him? But yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah, so, but yeah, Taker comes out. I do want to say, and you would know this, but you know me, I'm very interested in Taker's attire evolutions through time. And as the Taker aficionado, he feels like he's kind of like in between. Like his shirt almost feels like it's what it was, but it's kind of ripped. It looked like a weird look. Was this just his look at the time, or was this specific?
And this is one of my favorite looks. So you've got like the teardrop look. You've got the greased down hair, but it's not all the way black dyed. It's starting to get more red. He's starting to let the natural red color come back in. He's done away with the purple. He's just wearing black.
Yeah, he's full, no gray, it's just full black at this point.
And I like, I don't know. This was my favorite Taker look because the entrance jacket, like it was a vest, right? It didn't have sleeves, but it was long like a trench coat.
I mean, I'm just saying, you saw him ride a motorcycle to the ring, right?
I saw him ride that. I like this.
There's no motorcycle here. Just saying.
No, there's not.
Although it is always funny when his motorcycle would fuck up and he'd just be like, stop at the top, couldn't start, and be like, well, I'll just walk down, I guess. Fuck. Good stuff. But yeah, so he comes out, the classic Taker entrance, not as elaborate as some of them get. Like, I love his more elaborate ones, but this is standard for the next probably 3-4 years. We're going to see this exact entrance every
Considering
week.
What we just watched when they didn't even manage to turn the house lights down, but they had some
random dude who may or may not have been playing.
This is cooler.
No, absolutely. He's not like a curly redhead man. Yeah, no, this is better for sure.
But yeah. So this match isn't usually included on Taker best of compilations. I think we can see why.
Yes.
I don't like, and you mentioned this earlier, I don't like to see Vader playing scared or apprehensive or whatever story he's trying to tell here. I don't like that.
Yeah, and that comes up a lot here. It looks
like he's trying to charge him, then the referee tells him to stand off, then he gets outside the ring. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, no, that's not good.
Vader should not be begging off. When you're bigger than I know you're not as tall, but Vader's still pretty big, but he's massive. And the whole first probably 5 minutes of this match is just body avalanches. That's it.
Yep.
Vader just fucking belly bonks.
The thing about them is that their timing sucks because every time Vader does one, Taker does his sit up and stare, and Vader doesn't give him long enough to sell it or for the big, huge, almost 70,000 crowd they're in or whatever.
To notice it, it's just straight into the and Vader and Taker has to quickly spring up to take another one. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it isn't until the third one that apparently scares Vader into leaving the ring that there's actually enough time to sell it, which I think their timing in this whole match is just off.
Yeah, and then so Taker does a double axe handle off the apron, which is cool. Right here's where I bring it up. I never liked how they made Vader look like he begs out and then Vader in WCW, the reason he was awesome, he came out with that fucking crazy fucking helmet shoulder thing. Right. And he just beat the fuck out of people. That's what he did. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but a lot of that in this match, I don't like the cowardly heel Vader. It's stupid. Mick Foley says that several times in his book. He didn't understand why they brought him in to be a cowardly heel. And I know Foley and Michaels don't get along. Foley said, there was a lot of politics, which I believe because Vince pretty much listen to anything Michaels said, and if you're not Michaels, you might be wrong.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's what happened. Vader just got in Michaels' bad side, and Vince went, oh, okay, well, just throw him down. I don't care. If it's not the main event, do whatever the fuck you want with him. I'm out. But
right. And there's, the bummer about this match is that it devolves. What's up?
Well, this is also before Taker was, because Michaels was Vince's guy, and then it was Taker. Once Michaels left the first time, Taker was his guy until he retired. Still, even. So this was before I feel like if this was two years later, Vince would have had Vader squashed in 2 minutes. Without a doubt. So Vader did get some offense in. But yeah, I did say, another thing. Vader went to do a back body drop. Taker hit a famouser, which was there's several.
Okay, so yeah, there's lots of brawling
stuff
outside the ring, just like the previous two matches, and I think it would be more meaningful because Taker was good at that around this time.
Yes,
but
he was a brawler. Yeah,
we've seen too much of it in this pay-per-view already, which on accident we've watched two events in a row where we keep seeing the same match format laid out over and over again, which is weird. But
they brought Taker hits a body slam, which is nice. He's big, so it's always cool to see.
Drop.
A very
what I called it. You called it a famouser. I called it Booker T's head scissors. And JR called it a leg drop.
Yeah, it was like,
and then he followed it up with another leg drop because Vader was hunched over for it. Vader was leaning over, like stomach first, head toward the ground. And Taker comes up with one of his, like, usually across the throat leg drops.
Yeah,
but he lifts his right leg high enough to hit Vader over the head with it.
I can see where you're saying that. I mean, I get them all. Yeah, I thought it looked like a botched famouser attempt.
Yeah,
it looked like the Booker T kick. It wasn't a leg drop, so I hate to say that.
Well,
but then,
like Taker knew he wasn't just going to knee him in the face. So he just had to make some shit up.
but then Taker did his leg drop, which I'll say Taker has one of the better leg drops in the business. He gets some air, he hits it, and you're gonna hate this, but why is Hulk Hogan's finished the leg drop when he's the worst leg dropper in the fucking business?
Well, he definitely doesn't have as good of one as Taker, and I'm a bigger Taker mark. But JR says he's never seen a leg drop quite like The Undertaker's, and then King goes, well, have you ever seen mine?
King does that a lot. I'm used to like King 2 years later where he's kind of annoying because all he does is puppies, boobs, titties, ha.
Oh yeah, no, King around this time is just being Bobby Heenan from the event.
He's just Bobby Heenan. So he's like, have you seen mine? And this comes up later as well. But so Taker does the old school, which at this point is not old school. It's a trademark maneuver.
So yes, it's not called the old school. It's called a trademark maneuver. But this is another trope of our podcast now. So we've already counted things you can't do 2 weeks in a row. We have the Tito Santana calling moves things, and then we have Goldust being called a queer and that making him babyface because he's not in fact a queer.
Things you can't say.
So this week we have 2 more nut shots to the Undertaker. So I mentioned that I'm glad. So we watch these separately. Just so a little backstory. We watch these separately. We come into this not knowing what the other one's going to say. I don't know what Shawn I don't know his opinion. He doesn't know mine. But I'm glad we both, because I specifically said, apparently from the last Prince Albert Battle Royal Memorial, the Prince Albert Holiday Memorial Battle Royal Celebration match, Taker's balls are not, in fact, immortal. They are now damageable. Oh yes,
they're a weak point now. So yes, but Vader hits him in the dick and he drops him on his dick, and Taker sells
he drops him. He drops him off the rope onto his dick, and then Taker starts selling his knee instead of his dick, and so Vader then gives him a low blow to be like, "No, sell your dick."
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm sorry, a monster heel like Vader shouldn't like. The only time I've ever been okay with like a monster heel low blow was when like, Brock Lesnar, AJ, when AJ, or no, was it AJ or Bryan? Somebody just kicked a dude in the dick, right? It was an AJ dick kick. Yeah, that was AJ. When AJ
I remember that.
Was it? No, it was Bryan.
I just remember Taker hitting a low blow on Lesnar.
Well, I mean, that was because I think Lesnar did it to him first. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. No, it was Daniel Bryan. He hit a low blow on AJ to win a match, and that turned him heel and turned him into the greatest Bryan of all. But also that one where they just like the
tongue thing.
Yeah, but that Taker Brock Lesnar, that also reminds me like of that. Yeah, where they just what's happening? Well, they're just aggressively kicking each other in the cock. That's that.
But it is at this point when Vader finally backs up the Undertaker into a series of strikes in the turnbuckle that Todd Pettingill cuts away to a teenage fan in the crowd from Minnesota who saved up all the money to come all the way here.
Dude,
hopefully they got some fucking $7 tickets from Taco Bell. Bro. WCW gets a bad rap for doing this shit with the NWO angles during matches, but Todd Pettingill is out here during a major pay-per-view interviewing country singers during top guy matches, Vader and Undertaker, and Todd Pettingill's out here interviewing a teenage fan about how much she loves Shawn Michaels. They are really trying to drive home this boyhood dream shit.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to shit on the fan. Like she seemed like a legit just fan they fucking picked. She was not.
No, it's not her fault.
Like,
it's just, why here?
Yeah, no, like,
and
also
because as soon as they cut back from this, then the match devolves into rest holds. So there's this interesting series of strikes going on in picture while we're watching Todd Pettingill interview a teenage girl.
Like picture in picture is cool, like on AEW when they have a commercial, but they still show their thing. I'm okay because they do rest holds and shit. Which, if anyone, for those of you that don't, if you're maybe a casual wrestling fan, you've never been to a show, when there's a commercial break, everyone in the arena knows because that's when nothing happens. Like I've been to shows where literally when that happens, the dudes both just get on the other side of the ring outside and just kind of like stare at each other because that's a rest point. That's what they're doing. Pay-per-views obviously don't have that, which is why pay-per-views are higher stress. You don't get, a minute, maybe 2 or 3 in your match to chill.
Right.
But I guess they're doing it here, but they do it out of order. And it's just awkward. I'm not shitting on the fan, but like, just the story. I guarantee you they told her, hey, say this. And she kind of flubbed her lines. But like, so she says she follows Michaels everywhere. Well, how are you babysitting for money to come here if you're following them everywhere? They're in a different town every fucking night. I'm just saying, fuck it. I like a little bit of logic in my storylines, I'm just saying. A little bit.
Well, and she's definitely got a Minnesota accent, so I don't know if that's fake and she's a good actress or what's going on here. But
I don't know,
just so weird.
It's not her fault. It's just dumb. It's
almost like they're going out of their way to bury the fact that Vader's a mid-carder and this match doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we go back in, and that's where I said his dick is not immortal. Clearly, blah, blah, blah. Vader does an avalanche off the second rope. It looks kind of shit. And then I said, I was wrong. This match is not either going to be good or terrible. This is exactly in the middle. It's a match.
Yep. It's a match. And it's just the timing between these two is just rushed and off. Like Taker,
cool. So Taker does a
Vader into the ropes, and then he ducks early for a Vader bomb that looks sloppy.
Well, so I want to talk about that in a sec. So Taker does do a cool little flurry. Taker is starting to do some of his MMA kind of shit. He does a cool little up on his knees uppercut fury.
That was right when they cut to the girl, though. That's when it goes picture in picture.
Yep. So we missed that, and then after they come back, so we get Taker miss. So this is a like meme of Taker. So he goes for what looks like a leg drop, but Vader rolls, and then instead of doing a leg drop, he doesn't want to fall on his fucking spinal cord. He just kind of like does like a half-ass elbow attempt. Like Taker does that a lot. It's fine. You're saving yourself. But I feel like he was supposed to miss a leg drop. He's like, as he jumps, he goes, no. And just kind of like half-asses an elbow. But I've never seen, does Taker ever hit an elbow drop? I don't think I've ever seen Taker hit an elbow drop.
No, I don't think Taker throws elbows. He throws his really long fists that he takes the really long drawback with.
Yep, which look good later.
Actually, he throws elbows like Muay Thai elbows later in his career.
Yeah, when he goes into the full MMA Brock Lesnar-y stuff. Yeah. But so Vader goes up the middle, and another meme of the channel, third of the night. A crossbody power slam fucking counter. We need a shirt. I'm gonna make us both the shirt for that, because that is
crossbody power slam counter. That's a fucking tongue twister.
That is, and it happens, and it happened again. But so Vader hits the Vader bomb, and so here I'm gonna read this as I was writing it live. Vader hits the Vader bomb, which is actually just a power bomb. Looked kind of crappy. Don't know if Taker sandbagged a bit or they're just off time. I said it was a Vader bomb.
I swear it was just off time.
So it wasn't a Vader bomb. It was a power bomb, which I said it's just actually power bomb. But I called it a Vader bomb because Vince and them yelled, "It's the Vader bomb!"
Exactly.
And then as I was sitting there, I thought the Vader bomb was that top rope bouncy. It is.
Yeah.
So they're misleading. They're misleading me. But yeah, it was ugly. It didn't look good. Taker kicks out of that. Blah blah blah. And I had a problem with that too. So again, Taker kicks out of a move that prior to this was so protected that it not only actually paralyzed people in real life, but they would use it to write people off TV for extended periods of time. Taker's just like, fine. And the thing is, like, later on Taker, that makes sense. But at this point, Taker isn't that protected. So he had like the immortalness, like invulnerability with the urn.
The
but then he lost the urn.
I think the story here is that, we're supposed to be seeing the guy who doesn't have powers, and that's why we're seeing a very human side of him, because he chokeslams the referee, which you could do with or without powers, right? He could chokeslam the referee and still be evil, but then he goes outside. Well, he kicks the rope in frustration. Yep. Then he goes outside the ring, throws a chair at the ring post, and then he turns over the timekeeper's table. Then he gets in Vince's face.
Yeah, you're skipping ahead a bit, bud. You're spoiler alerts, but
I'm not.
It is. Well, I mean, the match is basically fucking over, except you missed.
Fucking over.
No, because you missed the most important part.
Oh yeah, Paul Bearer comes out because nobody has a goddamn manager anymore.
No.
Vader's manager isn't in the picture.
Taker hits old school. Taker hits his old school now, but it's not. Right. It's the trademark maneuver. And then out comes Paul Bearer. I'm gonna need the voice. We need the voice. Come on, give us the voice shot.
Yes,
there it is. And it's incredible that I think Paul Bearer takes more bumps than Vader took in this fucking match.
That was dangerous for him.
So Bearer comes out, Taker. So we have another Patterson finish because nothing's happened. Suddenly, fucking everything. So Bearer comes out. Taker doesn't notice him, and then he does, and then Taker fucking punches Bearer. Then Taker's going to choke slam Bearer, but Vader distracts him. Taker punches Bearer again after that. And then they do the double clothesline. The French guy's got a table, so that's fun. Taker sets up... so Taker does a cool move. I've never seen this. Taker turns the stairs, and he uses them. So Vader's hunched over the railing. Taker does a running leap. Bearer pulls Vader out of the way, and Taker chest first slams onto the rails. That was cool. That's not something you see from big dudes, right? That's cool. That's why I've always liked Taker. Taker does shit Kane does not jump over the top rope outside of the ring. That's why Taker's on another level. But Bearer moves him, and then Bearer does the most dangerous thing I've ever seen. Everyone knows Paul Bearer. He is rotund, small, big. Especially now, this is before his liposuction, I think the first one. He's very round, big. He does a double axe handle urn smash off of the apron onto Taker, who's hunched over. And Bearer just goes flying into the rail. He can't... I was legit is he dead? He gets up he's a champ. He takes it like a champ. But I guarantee you later that night, Bearer was like, "Ooh, Taker, my leg hurts. Give me a pickle." And Taker fled. Fun fact, Taker hates pickles. Hey.
Well, the weird thing about that point was, I guess the point of it was when Taker was doing that springboard off the steps and Paul threw Vader out of the way and then Taker ended up on the guardrail. They didn't really get that so clearly on the camera.
No, there's a couple points in this show where important things are missed.
Yeah.
But that's the ending. Vader, Taker rolls in, Vader hits the Vader bomb, and we have a victory. Vader wins.
Interestingly enough, I'm cross-referencing here with the Wrestling Observer. This now being from the January 27th, 97 edition. If you guys do have a subscription and you do want to check out and cross-reference yourself with Uncle Dave over there, but he doesn't really brush on it. The last thing he writes about this match is Undertaker chokeslammed the ref after the match. He doesn't mention him yelling at Vince's face or yelling into the camera,
which is interesting. So what is his rating?
The match 1.25 star.
Really? Okay. So I gave the match a 4 out of 10. I thought it was a lot closer to a match.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I gave it a little bit less. It wasn't. It could have been better. There was a little bit of mess up, but it's a passable match. It didn't go too long. They did just enough. There was enough cool spots. The power slam was a little botchy. Taker's awesome step jump was good. Taker's good. I said I didn't love it. It was okay. It picked up as it went on. I think it was kind of starting to make Taker I think they're trying what they're doing is trying to make Taker less of an immortal corpse man, and he has emotion, and he I think that's what they were going for. The crowd just they didn't seem very into anything. But yeah, then after the match, Taker chokeslams the ref and chokeslams another ref. He has a temper tantrum, basically.
Yeah.
And then he goes straight to Vince and yells directly at Vince, which, again, like I said at the beginning of this.
What he says that he's the only something of the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, I'm the only something of...
Dead man or phenom, but he's like, I'm the only of the World Wrestling Federation. Yeah. And Vince no-sells it. Like, he says nothing.
Yeah,
which is exactly... says it again to the camera, and they don't mention it at all.
No, but that's what I said earlier. Like, I feel like they're definitely they know Vince is going to be a character. Like, they're pushing to it. Like, he's going to be the owner. Because I think there's 3 or 4 times in this whole show where Vince is singled out and he no-sells it. He's like, no. But yeah, it's very interesting.
I think by this point we have seen Brett spit at Vince once or yell at Vince once.
Yeah, no, we've seen a little bit
at Survivor Series. But
yes. But yeah, we're getting very into Vince is about to be a character.
But we're still 10 months away from the screw job. So we're still 10 months away from the actual real beginning of that Vince. Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, like it's cool to see happening in I guess real time again as we're going back here.
Because again, I came in and I think you kind of came in because I watched WCW with my grandfather before, so I kind of came into WWF a little bit later. So Vince was already kind of a character established when I got in there with Road Dogg, DX, that kind of like 98-ish, right? Which we're gonna go through. So it's really it is very cool to kind of like relive this almost live. I mean, we're not watching every show, but pay-per-views. Oh yeah, it's fine.
And then right after this is part of my favorite part of rewatching this 97 stuff. We get more of those pre-tapes, and this one is the best. We get Stone Cold walking down the hallway.
It's second best. Nope, the best one's right after his, but Stone Cold.
I offer a direct opposition to that.
Okay, hold on.
So Stone Cold, I'm going to win this, bitch. I don't really give a damn. You can get that shit out of my face. Cut the damn camera.
I don't really know what he says, but it's basically the gist
it's basically
of it.
that. And I said right here, everyone's always loved Stone Cold. As soon as he became Stone Cold, his promos went to another fucking level. And I said, he's going to win the Rumble. Obviously, hindsight, but yeah. So
I personally said no. Quickly followed. Okay, I'll let you lead since you're positive take.
And then we have the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, with the pre-tape, and he yells at some crowd members. And here's the thing, though: we know that he's the face, but Austin's the face, so they're feuding a little bit. They don't like each other. Austin's the heel, but he's the tweener. We can tell Davey Boy. No one fucking likes him. But here's the biggest. He yells, I'm pretty sure he's going to win because he's bizarre. That's what he said.
That's the last thing he says. That is what he says.
That's not true because that Goldust is a bizarre one.
Goldust is the bizarre one.
Gimmick infringement. Hello. Bulldog. It is. I also said I never liked Bulldog with short hair. I feel like that wasn't Bulldog.
All right. So you don't actually think that was the best promo? Good.
No, I thought it was the most ridiculous because, you're bizarre.
You're quickly followed by the worst one so far.
No,
Bulldog is rocking double denim tonight.
Yeah, dude.
And then I said, sorry, I filled that with tonight because Bulldog says tonight he's going to win the Royal Rumble tonight.
Hey, dude, that sounds like
actually says that. He's like, tonight. Okay. I'm going to win the Royal Rumble tonight because I'm bizarre.
But you have to like that because that sounds like a fucking Spinal Tap lyric. Tonight,
I'm going to rock you tonight. I'm going to rock you tonight. I'm going to rock you tonight.
Hey, we're cultured over here. We know about Tap. Trust us. I've watched that movie probably 80 times. I have a life. Moving on to a match that I really couldn't be bothered to care about. And no one in the fan
call the cold match of the evening. Fink is in the ring with the team he's already introducing to their stock music.
So when I said earlier, you're gonna get that generic fucking southern. This is it.
Well, that's not this song. That's the next. They actually get an entrance to that song.
But that's right. Yeah. They come in. So it's hold on. Can I say the names? Let me do it.
Oh yeah.
So
I'll let you try.
We have Fuezo Guerrera.
Okay.
Heavy Metal and Jerry Estrada versus Canek, Hector Garza, and Perro Aguayo. was pretty good.
I mean, I'll let you.
Frezzo,
Hector Garza, Pero Aguayo, and Connect. Jerry Estrada.
Heavy metal. I said that one good.
Fuerza Estrada.
Fuerza. What did I say?
Fuerza.
Okay, well, pretty close. But yeah,
ironically, Jerry Estrada, his real name is Gerardo Estrada, and Connect, his real name is Felipe Estrada, but they're not related.
Well, yeah. So none of these guys. So this is a AAA match. I'll be honest. I don't know much about AAA. I said that. I don't know. I know some of like Hector Garza. I know the name. Aguayo. I know the name. Heavy Metal. I know the name. Hector Garza, I know.
Major Meltzer notes on this one because this match was super cold to me. I tried to follow the action. That was fun. If you want to go back and watch the action yourself, again, Royal Rumble Season 10, Episode 1.
I'm going to let Shawn take this one, and I'll just kind of kick in at the end with my
Meltzer
opinions.
Says, allow me to be Alex Abrahantes. Meltzer says the referee for this match was Pepe Casas, the father of heavy metal. Felino and Negro Casas.
I didn't know that. Jesus, they're all related. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This match had no heat at all. The crowd didn't even know Aguayo, and once that was the case, the match had no chance.
Yeah, he was the big name. He was the big name in the match. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was the big name, and no Vince actually in my notes I said Vince was he was like these three big stars in Mexico, and the crowd went mild, so that was not a good sign.
Hey, good. I like it. Let's steal things from other people. I love it.
But Vince flat out says, or rather, not Vince, Meltzer says, to make things worse, for whatever reason, the giant screens in the building were turned off for this match until the final 90 seconds. And since 95% of the crowd was watching the screens rather than the ring the entire show,
that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, okay. Because there was no heat and nothing. Even when they did the flippy dippies, nothing.
Yeah. Since they were too far away to actually watch the ring, it made a dead crowd much deader. This made the match seem worse than it really was, not that it needed much help to look bad. The announcers gave this match tons more respect than WCW would have, but they also didn't have a Mike Tenay who had a clue of more than a few facts about the guys.
Accurate.
But this couldn't hold a candle to the Mexican matches in WCW. Vince McMahon was particularly bad, although he didn't treat it with disdain like WCW announcers such as Dusty Rhodes and Bobby Heenan have, but came off bad, mixing up Estrada and Metal on several occasions, even after he'd been corrected.
Yep, I mentioned that.
I took note of that, and Jim Ross was describing Estrada's attire, and he was like, he's the one in the black and white spots. And then Vince, instead of agreeing with JR, he goes, oh yeah, and the fuzz or whatever it is. Like Vince is trying to catch himself by agreeing with JR instead of apologizing.
Yeah, you could tell Vince did not knowing Vince is the owner. There's a lot of points in this event where I feel like Vince went he had to mute himself because he's going fucking right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, this was nothing.
This match was dead as disco, sitting right there in the arena because the way Vince is trying to fill in sound with, he shouldn't be talking when he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he talks just because he knows that the crowd at home is fucking bored watching.
Yeah, so I will say that the one thing I did say here is what is it, Hector Garza and Heavy Metal. They did well. They were the two standouts by far. They did some actual, cruiserweight luchador stuff, but the Aguayo, I feel like there's this one spot where he runs across the ring, to jump out, but he does the goofiest run where he flails his arms and runs at half speed, only to go through the middle rope to stand there on the apron and then jump. It's
it looked like shit.
I'm sure I don't have a huge opinion of luchador. I think luchador wrestling's a little bit, like Mick Foley says, it's not a kick. It's not. It's a little bit. Did you even hit the guy, or you just landed next to him? Kind of.
Yeah, it's questionable sometimes. I mean, I get it's a different culture, and it's something that we definitely don't have an understanding of in America. But
like he said, it's not a drop kick. It's a drop kiss. Says Mil Mascaras.
Yes, and my problem here, though, is that we've seen all of these performers apparently in dark matches earlier tonight. So not only are we expecting the crowd to give a shit,
to see him again come out later and act like they hadn't had a match.
Yeah. Well, yeah, turn the screen off and then act like they haven't already had a match. Both.
So I'm actually wondering, like, I think the reason the screen. Remember when I was in second grade and couldn't say ours? Hey. So I think it went off because we do find out in the Rumble that the counter and like the Titantron shit is a little bit borked. So I feel like maybe it fucked up here and they're trying to fix it. They get it back, it goes out. So I'm not saying it's intentional, but this was a filler match. This is a Divas match from like 05 to 08 where it's there to let people go get a beer and take a piss. That's all it's for.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you think about it in that context, because Royal Rumble 97, we have this weird cold AAA match in the middle of the card.
Yeah.
And Royal Rumble 98, we have a weird light heavyweight title match, I believe, to start off, or a minis match. We have a minis match to start off the Royal Rumble.
On the pay-per-view.
They instead of having Divas matches, because by that time they were trying to use those as eye candy to keep people in the arena.
Hey,
so it was like
I'm gonna say I was more interested in Terry Reynolds' nipples than this match. I'm not gonna lie, but
I'm not gonna let you lie. It's okay. You don't have to lie.
Oh, okay.
But JR in this match, so Meltzer gave it 1 star. It ran 10 minutes and 56 seconds, which is fucking excessive for him.
1 star.
1 star.
Okay. Yes. Can I? Do you want to read his review and that'll give you mine?
Well.
Or is there?
I mean, basically, his review was basically what I was typing about the commentary. There's one more line. He said, the announcers didn't treat it with disdain like WCW announcers like Dusty Rhodes and Bobby Heenan have, but they came across bad, mixing up Estrada and Metal on several occasions after they've been corrected. Yep. Jim Ross tried and knew a few facts, but not enough to carry the match, but was smart enough to even mention on the air after the lack of crowd reaction that in the future, they'll be giving fans more information on these wrestlers to better acquaint them with them.
Okay. So 1 out of 5. Okay, I gave this a 4 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad.
No, so I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Meltzer's also going off of Meltzer. So that's something I was going to mention about the last match, is that I don't think Meltzer's scale is based on a objective scale. I think it's based on that guy's ability to have a match with that guy.
Maybe.
Per match.
Yeah.
Which is why he rated the Taker and Vader match so low, because he's off of a hot streak of watching Taker and Mankind having some pretty much 3, 4, maybe even 4.5 star matches.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't really deny things like Buried Alive in the Boiler Room Brawl.
I think I said that later because they fight in the Rumble. I said Taker and Mankind is one of my favorite feuds from this era.
Oh, it's the best feud, in my opinion, probably in 90s WWF.
And it's probably the best.
I think Mankind and Taker's better.
I think it's probably the best feud Taker's had, maybe other than Michaels, in his career. Like it is.
I think those two are 1A, 1B. I call Taker and Mankind and Taker Michaels 1A, 1B.
Yeah, and then like Lesnar
the first and second
Edge.
Hell in a Cell matches too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, like they're 1A, 1B to me. And I'm a Taker mark, so I feel like
I like Taker, but I'm not a mark. But I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 10. And so here's my take on it. If you'd taken out Aguayo, right?
Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to be the star.
No,
he's
I know.
The star.
If you'd taken him out of this match, and on the other side taken out anyone, because all 3 of them did well, I probably would have given this a 6 to a 7. It would have been good. But every time he got in the ring, it got slow. It just got slow and not good. Like, again, Hector Garza and Heavy Metal, they did a great job of using their time to make them look good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, I wouldn't say it's a 1 out of, it's not that low. It's not it's not an even, I'd say it's if it was, if Aguayo was not in this, or if they featured him less, because he was in it a lot. If they featured him less, this would have been a 5, maybe a 6. But
right.
As it was, I'd give it a 4 because he's over the hill. Like, I know they're trying to capitalize on his, the star power, his name, but like if they put his son, I imagine, in this match instead of him, it probably would have been a better match. Right.
Well, the weird thing to me is that JR gives us one Mike Tenay fact. Like Meltzer mentions, like, JR tries, but there's one fact, and he says that Connect holds a victory over Lou Thez. He didn't say Aguayo does. The guy you would expect to have a victory over Lou Thez. It's Connect. And I had to look that up, and Lou Thez was 62 at the time. Thank God, because I was like, how old is Connect?
Yeah.
But, I think this match says something about the idea now of us as fans talking about the opening of the Forbidden Door, right? Because the reason it matters now, the reason it matters now is because we get wrestling on an international level. Yep. But back then in the 90s, there wasn't enough crossover to the point where, like, there's a difference between lucha libre and there's a difference between American professional wrestling and there's a difference between Japanese puroresu. There's a difference between all three of these different forms of the same idea, and they don't necessarily mesh together until we had more access to watch each other's stuff and for it to influence each other more.
From this time, I like lucha, like even in WCW, I watched them, but like I didn't care about the lucha. I liked the cruiserweights, and I cheered for Jericho. I cheered for the guys that didn't, like Malenko, who didn't do the lucha stuff. Like they could. Jericho's done it. Dean Malenko can do it. But like, I was American. I was going for them. I've never seen their stuff. Like it's same ECW.
The ones that I liked, and generally that had more to do with who ended up in the video games. So like, I didn't care for Halloween or Damien. I cared for Psychosis or it was more just like who I could play as in the games. So I mean, like to that extent, it's just who did they push? Because
exactly.
They didn't get to tell stories with their words, so they had to tell stories with their matches.
And it's funny, like looking back, like for the longest time I shit on it, like, oh, we're just pushing Cena because kids love him. But like, I'm like, well, when I was a kid, that's how who they pushed is who I liked. Like I didn't like the under guy. Like when I was a kid, I probably would have went Brian Danielson. I don't know, get him. I don't care. I want to see John Cena. And it's a weird perspective, and it's weird to like admit that, but like that's totally true. Like when I was a kid, like whoever they're pushed, like there was a time when D'Lo Brown was my favorite wrestler. Yeah, why? I don't fuck because him and Mark.
You liked the chest plate. I remember you like him as chest plate.
I fucking dug the chest plate. I'm just saying. But like me, Kevin Nash was my favorite guy for years. And looking back, like I have nothing against him. He's not garbage. He's like Sid. He's like any other big dude. They're good. If you put them in with the Michaels or someone like that, they'll have a great match.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, like saying any other big dude, but only because you've given me so much crap for being a Taker mark over the years. I think it's good that you're finally coming around to admitting the Taker is one of the better big men.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
one of the better big men.
I mean, no, Taker he might be the best big man. Like I know people argue Andre, and I get that, but Andre and Taker are different.
As a spectacle, sure, but as a worker, I think it's gotta be Taker.
As a worker, I don't know if it depends. We're gonna have to we need a whole Taker video.
What's
discussion.
The definition of a big man? We'll get there. Like what height and what weight defines a big man?
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Presentation or is it an actual size? And
if we're going off presentation of star power, Taker is easily the biggest star in the history of the business.
But if we're going off of ability to work at a certain size, wouldn't Taker also win?
He's in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
but
he's definitely in the upper echelon of that. But at above 6'8", who works better?
I don't know. He'd be up there. We're gonna have to do a whole discussion about this.
So I will. Part of my assessment of this match is, well, honestly, I'm a huge fan of the Royal Rumble '96, as we've already brushed on previously in this very episode. I own that video cassette from.
So that was the one Michaels won from right?
That's the one Michaels won from.
Yeah, again,
28.
Again. Michaels.
That was the real culmination of the boyhood dream. I'm not going to say the consummation of the boyhood dream
because sounds inappropriate. Yeah, I can't say that.
The culmination of the boyhood dream was Michaels winning the Rumble 2 years in a row, and this time being a babyface with long hair and not a mullet.
Yep. But yeah, so the Royal Rumble starts off.
I will quote some Meltzer real quick to give us some backstory.
Perfect.
Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble. We're just gonna break that news in case you guys spoiler
alert, red alert. Yeah, he wins it. Obviously,
Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble in 50 minutes and 29 seconds. On television, they had advertised it would be 60 minutes or 60 seconds. Easy for me to say. 60 seconds between entrance, but it turned out to be 90 seconds, probably making the match longer to carry things because Michaels was limited by the flu and couldn't work a long match with Sid.
So that was true then. So I did ask that later. I was like, they mentioned he had the flu. I assumed that was real, but you never know. So that was real.
Well, you still don't know with Michaels, but that's what's
true.
Reported as real at the time. So more spoilers, guys. Michaels goes on to win the title back from Sid in the main event of this event. And then shit gets really weird. So apparently,
literally this month,
the plan apparently was to have a rematch from the previous Mania between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. But by this time, Bret and Shawn were not friendly together.
They had a lady fight in the back.
The rumor and innuendo goes that Shawn lost his smile so that he wouldn't have to drop the belt to Bret. So, there you go. There's more reason why people hate Shawn Michaels. This is actually the beginning of the end for his original run as respected in the WWF,
which we will get into in the next month podcast because we're going through this entire year straight through. So we will talk about this. We'll go through it. But yeah, it gets very weird, very awkward.
Becomes basically very important for Stone Cold. This match is the Stone Cold show, right?
No, the whole I wonder. It might be even more important than the King of the Ring win because this that was 316, all that. Yeah. But this was a spoiler alert. It's dominating. Stone Cold. I don't know if there's another Rumble. He's not the leader in eliminations. I think that's Roman now, and then Kane was behind him. But
yes,
this is one of the most dominating Royal Rumbles a guy's had. When they're not getting a Roman Reigns push. Roman Reigns is pushed as the guy. Now he's finally the guy, but he was. And so Stone Cold did it as a heel. It's good. We're gonna get into it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Meltzer went on to write, this match is basically the Steve Austin show. He lasted over 45 minutes and eliminated 11 people, which has to be some kind of record at the time. So good stuff here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so we start off, Crush, the Nation of Domination's token white guy, which is weird to say, but he's out there against Ahmed Johnson. Oh, shit, he gives him the face. Fuck, this is a feud. Shit. We start out with two guys who have a feud. Makes sense. You don't want to start out with randoms. I always like it when they start out with, two big, when they start out with, either teammates, maybe, or, two big names, but they didn't. It's whatever. I did say immediately, I hate how stupid people get in the Rumble because they immediately stop trying to throw people over and start doing these weird, let me lift your leg up slowly. And it legit looks like Crush is trying to ass fuck Ahmed for a couple seconds there. He's just lifting his leg and just thrusts. It's bad. Rumbles are lovely, but sometimes they're terrible. Immediately, countdown issues occur. You can hear Vince go into Vince voice because he's clearly fucking pissed. Because fake Razor just starts sprinting out. You're like, what? There's no countdown? And Vince, well, there appears to be some countdown problems. And everyone fucking hates the fake Razor. Fucking booed out of the building. No one, he does this stupid, it's no one cares. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen Vince do, which is a lot, is just try to replace two dudes with other dudes who are not in a, if they're under a mask, maybe. I know Festus, Doc Gallows was Kane at one point. Yeah. And I thought that kind of died off. They should have kept going with the fake Kane versus real Kane. That could have been cool. But if the dudes, you can tell it's not fucking Scott Hall under the,
Oh yeah, well it's Rick Bogner or whatever his name is. I think this is no disrespect to the performer. I mean, he did his best for the job he was given.
No, he did it, but it's not Razor, and you can tell it's just not.
No, yeah, I mean, like, and I think they're clearly trying to bury him. They have him come out to no music. I don't know if that's a timing thing or if that's on purpose because it's less than 30 seconds and he's tossed out.
No, yeah, no. Ahmed tosses him out. Ahmed, the walking botch Johnson, tosses him out immediately. Yeah.
Then, not too long after that, Ahmed tosses himself out.
Okay. Yeah. No. Can I go into the?
Yes, please.
So Crush goes over, stays in a little. He goes over, does the almost over. Another thing I want to talk about in Rumbles: how come as soon as the Rumble happens, when you toss a guy over the top rope, you stop looking at him and go, he's gone forever. No, just hello. Stop. Don't just what logic is gone. But so Crush goes over, rolls back in. Ahmed then sees Farook up far on the Farouk's going, I'm here, waving his fucking arm. Blah, blah, blah. And Ahmed, instead of going through the middle rope, through the bottom rope, jumps over the fucking top rope, eliminates himself, and sprints the fucking like they're trying to push him as a mega face, but he's also possibly being pushed as the dumbest man. Like, well, that's
what I mean. Is every time you're supposed to cheer Ahmed, it's either he wins because somebody cheated and he should have won, or
he's just an idiot.
Stupid.
It's so
as
dumb.
Jim Cornette would say. Apparently, Ahmed used to say, "Great googly moogly."
Yeah, and then so at this point, Crush is alone, right? I think, Crush is in there alone. And then finally, and then
Phineas Godwin.
Yeah. Big smash. Oh, Phineas Godwin.
Naked Midian.
Yeah, Naked Midian. That's fun. I said Naked Midian. I mean Phineas. He's not naked yet. Also, he wasn't naked. I think Spanky was the only one they made actually run naked, right? Midian had the pouch in a thong.
Yes, he might have. I don't know. They blurred it so well. All you saw was the fanny pack over it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we also thought we saw Christian and Jericho's dicks, but they were also not showing their dicks because...
No,
I mean, we might as well just put a dot over his dick and his face. Oh, inside joke. But yeah, so Naked Midian comes out. I said, here I go. I never remembered this group or Hillbilly much, but I loved Hillbilly in Legends House. Big props to his Legends House thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I remember that Henry came first. His name is Mark Canterbury.
Yes.
And Henry O'Goblin came first, and apparently that was in the the occupational gimmick era. And apparently they were like, oh, he needs a partner, so they hired Dennis Knight, made him Phineas. So you've got Henry O'Goblin, Hog, and Phineas O'Goblin, Pig.
That's big brain.
The two of them together. But yeah, I remember, the year before, Henry actually had a pretty important spot in one of the matches with the slop bucket, but it's Vince shit. It's Vince shit.
But no, so he becomes Midian later. Much more important as Midian. He's, it's whatever. He's a good worker, but he's never, he's not one of the guys people remember.
This is the point I'll return to Meltzer's review. This match, it was hideous until Austin was number 5 and saved the day.
I will say, exactly. So, boom, here we fucking go.
You are completely pathetic.
It's not as good. Like, the theme, I love that, like, certain themes, like, it's the same, but, like, Michaels was the same the whole time. Austin's was the same, but it evolved a little, like...
And there's a point at which it becomes the version, and that version's the Music Volume 3 version.
Yes, and then after that they go
Volume 2 version.
Yes,
so
it's a little bit understated. It's understated. It's a lot. It's bass heavy. I'd say it's bassy. It's not a lot of fucking screaming electrics. Just nice bass lines there. And so Stone Cold comes in number 5 entrant. And a spoiler alert, he's by far the MVP of this fucking Rumble.
Oh yeah, this is as Meltzer said, the Steve Austin show. As
I will say,
it, the Stone Cold show.
Yeah, I will say, Vince was. I can only imagine livid that Stone Cold came out, the guy he knew was going to win it, his big, future big star, with the clock still broken, so there wasn't a countdown to the 2, 1. Burn out. No, none of that. Just suddenly out of nowhere. Oh shit! Stone Cold's coming. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is less than 6 months.
Stone Cold.
This is like less than 6 months, I believe, after Stone Cold actually debuted the Stunner. I think he was still using the $1 Million Dream prior to this, and so
I feel like in this match, it's not even like it's not the Stunner. It's just Stunner because he does it a couple times in the match. It gets a little bit. It's not like
it's not over yet. It's
just a thing.
He's still getting it over. So there's a spot when. I think it's Phineas eliminates Crush, and then Stone Cold stuns Phineas and eliminates him. Mm-hmm. And the crowd doesn't pop for the Stunner yet. Like I wrote down, the crowd popped heavier for the Undertaker clotheslining Vader during their match than they did for the Stunner here. Now, so that's just crazy to think.
I'm going to replay about a half minute here. I did find it funny. So Stone Cold is in his early vest, right? It's, he's just started wearing the vest. He gets stuck in his vest as he tries to roll into the ring. So he's trying to take it off, and he just like fucking headers himself in, like, oh shit, his arms are trapped. And Godwin kicks him.
Goddamn arms stuck in the goddamn vest. What the hell
it's not a big deal. I just thought it was a little bit funny. But yeah,
I'll have to check that out. I missed that. That sounds funny.
So when Stone Cold runs in, he kind of like rolls in, his arm gets stuck, and he kind of like rolls in, and his head, like his big bald head, you're just like, But yeah, so Stone Cold comes in, he tosses everybody immediately.
After Stone Cold eliminates Phineas after that Stunner, we get a spot where Stone Cold's alone in the ring for about as long as Razor was in the match at all.
Yeah, he's in. I want to say this too. I love in Rumbles when they take a charismatic dude and put him in the ring alone. Like, I think the highlight is Punk. Punk is the highlight.
Punk was a highlight. Do you remember it was less than 5 years ago, maybe it was 5 years ago, but Bray Wyatt had a really dominant Rumble.
Yep.
That was a good Rumble.
No, yeah, that was good. But yeah, no, like my biggest I remember Punk in there cutting a promo as the guy came out going, hold on a sec. Don't do drugs, children. It was, dude. We'll talk. I'll talk about Punk a lot when we get to a show with him. But yeah, so Stone Cold's in there doing push-ups. Come on, bring him out. Let's go.
And the next guy out was Bart Gunn.
It was just Bart Gunn, and it was botchy. Bart Gunn got eliminated almost immediately, but managed to botch 2 things in his fucking 30 seconds. So he went for an actual famouser this time, fucked it up, missed. And then he was supposed to get clotheslined over, but he did that thing that seems to happen all the time where guys in a normal match can go over the ropes, no problem. But in a Rumble, they're like, I'm stuck, fuck. And then Austin turns around and he didn't clothesline him. He just clubbed him in the face to get him the fuck out.
And then he somehow his arms come out.
Yeah, so
I mean, when I was a kid, though, I loved those spots, and I think that's kind of what the magic of working a Rumble is.
It might be. I don't know. I thought it looked like shit, and Bart got fucked up.
You're seeing so many hoopla, pyro, and ballyhoo finishes is because Pat Patterson owns the goddamn Royal Rumble.
Let's true. Just make he is the man.
This is Pat Patterson's event, so he's like, just have him sit there until the guy could come over and punch him in the face.
Yeah. So the next entrant, though, I was kind of surprised because I didn't realize he was still around at this point. Is Jake the fucking Snake Roberts?
So I think he was already gone. Important. That's like the one story they're actually trying to tell with Austin in terms of actually, because Bret Hart, they're trying to kind of tell a story, but they haven't really gotten there.
It's not, but like the Austin thing, that was a feud.
They had the blood already, right? Yeah. Like so, like you
wait,
you
the blood, the Bret Hart Stone Cold.
Yeah, that was Survivor Series '96, I believe.
No,
they go on to do it again at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, they do the big one.
So they already did one at Survivor Series.
Yeah, the big one we remember is 13, which we'll get into. Yes. Follow our podcast. I can't wait to get into that. No, it's good. But yeah, so yeah, I'd say Stone Cold's biggest feud at this point was Jake Roberts, because the Austin 316 was a big deal. It was because Jake Roberts is really religious. He's religious when he wants to be not drunk, basically, at this point.
He's either on crack or he's on Jesus.
He's doing a lot better now. Thank God for the fucking diamond cutter.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of these days, we're going to have to do a comparison to see whose voice is more shot, Vince or Jake.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to do an episode where we do the DDP fucking thing and see what happens.
Oh, DDP yoga?
We might both die, but we'll maybe. Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, so Jake's out, and Stone. I'm 90% sure. Jake, the snake in the sack, the real snake, was not in the sack because Jake throws him in very aggressively. They do a little back and forth. They tease the DDT, whatever, and basically Jake gets the better of Austin because he's the grizzled vet. He's been the grizzled vet since he was a rookie, I'm pretty sure. So he gets the upper hand, does some fighting. But yeah, he doesn't really. It's not a lot. It's kind of.
I mean, honestly, this match starts. This is the point in most Rumbles when I start to like it. So when you start to stop seeing like constant eliminations and the ring starts to fill up into a normal battle royal situation, shit starts to get a little distracting. This is usually when I start to like stuff.
Yeah, so this actually was not bad.
For this match, the competitors involved in this sort of like filling of the ring, it's Bulldog, which I might have a higher opinion of Bulldog had we not just watched a battle royal that Bulldog went over.
Yeah, so that's what I said. Bored. Like, so while he's running down, Jake gets tossed. They just missed that because they're Bulldog, but Jake's gone. He's out.
Yep.
And so, like, and honestly, I'm kind of the opposite. I prefer Rumbles where there's not a shit ton of guys in there. Like, I like the storyline, but I get it. But yeah, so he's out. Jake Roberts is gone. Stone Cold alone. A couple more seconds. Bulldog comes down. I said I always thought Bulldog looked fucking weird with long hair. He hits Austin with a running power slam, which I'm pretty sure we just established is his finisher. But in the Rumble, it's kind of so I don't know if he changed finisher. I don't know enough about the Bulldog. I just know he never really won anything. He was in good matches that he lost, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the ring really starts to fill up here. I feel like a lot of the spots get convoluted. We get Pierroth Jr.
Pierroth, the Sultan, who I had to look up. It's Rikishi. He doesn't look like Rikishi, so I'll give him that. I forgot the Sultan was a gimmick he was a part of.
The only reason I remember the Sultan is because Sheiky Boy was his manager.
Yeah, I said that. I said, thank God for the Sheik. And the Sheik is just fucking flipping people out, fucking them all.
He's the whole coconut. Fuck the Texas.
Is there a better? I know it's not really Sheik that's tweeting, but it's close to fucking off. Also, he also tried to shove a bottle up Spenny's ass on Kenny vs. Spenny on the wrestling episode. Shout out to that show. If you've never seen it, fucking check it out. It's amazing.
Mil Mascaras comes in here, which I forgot.
I fucking hate him. In this match. I hate him because Foley and Jericho, two of my favorite wrestler authors, also hate him.
No yob.
Fuck yeah. Drop kiss. No. I gave Mil Mascaras a backbreaker, and he sat down. Like, okay, yeah. So he's in there. It's okay though, because later it gets better. Yeah, Triple H is fucking in. Owen, dude, just seeing Owen immediately makes me sad. I immediately got sad.
Before Owen comes in, I think Davey eliminated the Sultan, and then Owen came in.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me. Sultan is tossed by the Bulldog. Yeah, but then, yeah. And then, so Austin eliminates Hunert. May I have mistyped somebody's name? Hunert, not Hunert. Did I mean Helmsley? I might have Triple H. Yeah, Austin. Hart. I think Hart. No, not Hart.
Well, Owen through Davey Boy. I think.
Ooh, yeah, he accidentally, but on purpose, and I think that started their little mini feud they had for a bit there because they were a team.
Yeah, I called him an idiot, which is the worst thing to call somebody.
How dare you?
Can't call somebody a stupid idiot in Canadian. That's a very mean insult.
So can I say a thing that may be controversial? I think I liked Owen Hart as a character more than I ever liked Brett.
Owen Hart. I agree with you.
Owen Hart's sleazy. I'm a heel on the King of Heart. like Bret Hart's heel gimmick was my favorite of his, but I feel like Owen was just that really good sleazy heel.
Owen was the man. Owen was what do we say? Multifaceted, multidimensional. I feel like Bret. It was literally the times shifted around Bret, so people were able to see Bret in a different light.
Yeah,
but I don't think Bret changed.
No, I feel a little differently. Like I know, like I think I say later, like, hey, Bret, you traditionally think of Bret as like a face, but like I think Bret's heel stuff was better than he was ever as a face.
Right.
And I feel like Owen, like there's very few. I don't know. There's a couple wrestlers, like obviously Cena. He's a better face than a heel because we don't know what the fuck he's like as a heel, except in Bray Wyatt's fucking multiverse.
And early Cena.
But like Edge is a heel. He's naturally a fucking heel. That's just what he is. It's like there's a couple guys. Oh, like Stone Cold. Even when he's trying to be a dastardly heel, people fucking liked. The only time they booed him was when he went full heel.
Not the right turn. The if we're talking about WrestleMania 17, that was just the worst executed turn in the history.
I know, but then Stone Cold, like I think that's what I talk about later, because Bret and Stone Cold are in there. And I'm like, dude, two of the guys that are commonly thought of as faces who had very underrated heel runs. Because Stone Cold as a heel it was goofy, but it was funny, fucking hilarious.
That made it babyface.
We
enjoyed it.
That's the thing.
To make it heel.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Kurt Angle was a heel.
It was good. He was good. I remember you loved the 2-man power trip. Him and
when they were just beating the fuck. Yeah, that was oof.
Him and Triple H circling and dominating that tag team. That tag team.
Yeah, and then Hunter's leg exploded again. It just happens.
I'm not going to spend too much time on the details of this match because it starts to get fucking stupid. You got too
I'm
many.
Just kind of scrolling through. Blah, blah, blah.
I will say my favorite surprise entrant, because the actual surprise entrant of this Rumble is apparently Jerry Lawler. And the crowd doesn't care. The crowd doesn't give a shit when he gets up from the table.
It was funny though. It was funny.
The Rumble.
I'll give it that. It was funny.
Apparently, part of that, according to Meltzer, is that Lawler was actually advertised as part of the Rumble on paper the entire time. So, like, all the local advertisements said Jerry Lawler would be in the Rumble. Yeah. So to me, the surprise entrance was Cybernetico, because I'm used to seeing him in WCW. That's the one AAA guy here that I've actually seen in WCW Saturday night, cruiserweight.
So it's funny though, because at this point we get a Mil Mascaras. So I'm gonna have to call it, like, I hate Mil Mascaras. I think he's trash, but like I'm gonna call this into question. So Mil eliminates Peroth. All right, well, whatever. And then he climbs through the middle rope outside of the apron, climbs the turnbuckle, and jumps off onto Peroth. But he's eliminated. But like is that how? Where? That I don't know about that one. Like, he didn't go over the top. He went to the top rope, but he never crossed the plate.
Well, yeah. So the announcers had to come in and cover this one, and Meltzer's words were. Meltzer said they explained that Mascaras didn't know the rules of a Royal Rumble. Jeez, the guy was probably in the first battle royal ever held. If you ask him, he'd probably tell you he invented battle royals. And after 30 years, now they'd say he doesn't know the rules.
Yeah, no. So it was a little silly.
I liked Meltzer's take on that.
I mean, I'll take it. Mark Miro came in. Who cares? Mark Miro. We mostly wanted to see Sable. I'm not going to say that, but that handprint. Moving on before. Yeah.
I mean, Meltzer said, boy, it says something for egos when you're already doing the gimmick earlier in the match of the babyface who eliminates himself to have to do it again for a guy who hasn't meant a thing on major league level for years.
Yeah. So I will say Latin Lover comes out. Best wrestling name I've ever. The Latin Lover. Fuck Mankind. Fuck the Undertaker. The Latin Lover. That's good. That's good.
Well,
but then
I think this is a guy that Tony Khan needs to think. Well, I'm sorry, Cody just won the title, but if we were going to have a week-to-week TNT Championship challenge, I wanted to see the Latin Lover against the Spanish God. What do you think, Tony?
Absolutely. Fuck yeah, let's go. But yeah, so Farouk comes out next, and let me take over the retelling of this tale of the Rumble.
Oh shit!
Because Farook tosses the Latin lover out immediately. Gone. No Latin lover gone. No Spanish. He's done. But then out of the bowels comes Ahmed, the walking botch Johnson himself, with not a 2x4, but a 2x fucking at least 2x6. It's fucking big.
In Meltzer's notes, it says Hacksaw Johnson comes out and Ace Simmons away.
It's too big. So I said, run down with a 2x6. Odd choice. He also clearly, like in Mick Foley's book, he practiced with a shovel when he hit Harley Race on the head, and Harley said, "Fucking hit me in the head, I'll kill you," basically. But no, Ahmed never even touches because he comes out and he never practiced because he looks like fucking trash. He's like swinging. It's like it's a fucking balloon. He chases Farook around. He hits him. Shawn, if you slap me on the back, I'd be in more pain than that would have fucking caused. Because Ahmed Johnson is the drizzling shits.
Yes, he absolutely is.
But Ahmed also, according to the Wikipedia, Ahmed gets credit for eliminating Farook. So we're going into that whole, hold on. I think we're botching eliminate because no, Ahmed Johnson's already been. You can't eliminate someone. This is the Taker from being like hacked. No, it was shit.
Well, here's my take on it, Tony. Oh. Here's my take. Let me offer my take. If Ahmed Johnson can eliminate himself by not being tossed over by anybody, then anybody outside the ring is definitely an illegal elimination. If you can eliminate yourself,
fair.
Is that fair?
That's fair. So let me continue though, because while we're watching this fucking mutiny, distraction, garbage, trash hole, fucking Austin eliminates Owen and Miro. Austin gets 2 eliminations while fucking Ahmed's running around like a fucking Neanderthal with an oversized club. And luckily they do catch it. They go back to a replay later. But like at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? Austin's alone again. He's just what? Hold on a second. What the fuck happened?
Oh yeah, no. Austin dumps Miro, and then Savio Vega comes in,
which is actually at least there's some storyline, and they feuded last year for a couple months, I think.
Apparently, they had a really long house show run, and then they basically only got one match on pay-per-view. But if you were like really following WWF or you attended regular live events, you actually got to see a lot of matches between the two of them.
Okay, well, he immediately fucking tosses him. Immediately, a couple seconds.
Less than a minute, he tosses him, and then
the real Double J, Jesse James.
In my day, working hard on the golf, but the
I forgot he'd done the gimmick of
be alone with my baby tonight.
I forgot that he was the real Double J. And so out comes the real Double J, best feud ever. Him versus Double J, the other JJ Double J battle. I said this, that he gets tossed right almost immediately, but I like that he did the Double J strut, which is, I liked it. I was down with it. I was cool. But then he did the road dog. It's the road dog. Just if you didn't know, spoiler alert, he becomes the RODDO Double G very soon, actually. But he does the punchies that are actually pretty good, and then he's tossed. So out he goes. But here I say, I wonder how long Austin's been alone in the ring. I'd say at this point it's at least a minute or two, right?
We actually get what is, I guess, supposedly the real feud that
shit
he's
gets
going
real.
through.
Shit gets fucking real. Brett and Austin's reaction is, oh fuck, no shit. Fuck.
Now, apparently around this time last weekend, like the week prior to this, they were selling a huge ankle injury for Bret Hart. And then he's not selling that out at all. He's just charging out to the ring. And Meltzer made a big deal out of that in his review of the match.
Well, so we're not Meltzer, so we don't know about that. Who cares?
Yeah. Well,
But so I said here, this is good. We get to see the build up to the fantastic.
Took his time to say, I can only assume when the decision was made for Hart not to win that they didn't want him to look weak, so they dropped the previously planned angle.
You know, Meltzer is good, but sometimes I feel like he's a bit pretentious because that seems, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Who knows? But yes, Brett comes out. We all know what's about to happen at Mania 13. One of the epic double turn that, built one of the greatest stars in wrestling history.
But if you're trying to win a Royal Rumble, Brett does one of the stupidest things for a man trying to win a match, which is put Austin in a submission hold, which we know, at Mania is going to make Austin pass out.
Yeah,
bleeding.
Immediately.
But here in this match makes no sense.
No, and then we come to the real
surprise entrance.
So that's one of the things later Manias really do is there's at least a couple surprise entrants.
Or later
this
Rumbles.
one, this one there's not. It's really just him. It's Jerry, the goddamn fucking King Lawler, who lasts.
His song starts playing, and then he gets up from the table like surprised. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way,
I forgot to fucking in," which we now know he's been advertised in the entire fucking time. He gets in, and Brett breaks the submission. He's holding his mortal foe in to fucking punch Jerry. Jerry does take a really good bump. I'll give him that. He went off his feet over the fucking ropes. Out of the ring, he's out. Like 4 seconds. According to this, it's 4 seconds. And it's really good, though, because Jerry immediately puts his fucking headset on and goes back. He just goes back to commentating. They act like he just got knocked, so he didn't even know he was in it. That's a running gag. I'll give him a half point for that. It's pretty funny. I liked it. I'm okay with it. A little bit of comedy in a Rumble is good.
Yeah, I'm all for. Okay, so again, Vince shit. This is Vince shit.
This is absolutely. But but he did it good. Yeah, I liked it. So he's immediately tossed. Hart gets one, and that Hart is dominating Austin again because it's just those two for probably 2 or so minutes. I'd say roughly.
Yeah.
After the elimination, they did mention Austin's now been in there for about 40 minutes, which is not true. Based on his total time, he's been in there maybe 35 minutes. So, But next out is Kane. Wait, hold on. No, well. It's Kane. It's Kane. It's not Kane. It's Diesel. Fake Diesel. It's actually Kane. We'll see. Which I think we see later this year, right? He comes this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Listen, we picked
It's gotta be.
It's got to be blood. Kane and Bad Blood, but got to be Kane. So we picked a good year because I remember Kane coming. Yeah, I remember that because I remember very vividly there was a match between Taker and Stone Cold that was on TV, and my mom would tape things because I couldn't stay up late. I was a child at school,
right?
And it went over, and she did not tape long enough, and I missed it, and I had a fucking meltdown. I had to go to your house because your mom, she taped shit for an hour or less.
Well, it might run long.
Yeah, and it did, and I came over there and went, "Oh my god, Kane!" And it was I don't know why I remember that so vividly, but this was kind of when that's like when I remember being super, But yeah, so it's Kane, it's not, it's Diesel, and I mentioned just don't give people gimmicks that are another wrestler without a mask because they'll fucking know it's career suicide. It wasn't. Thank God for Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, aka the uber Republican mayor of Knox County. Knox County, Tennessee. And I will say I do like that in his Glenn Jacobs he has a little flame. Pay homage to Kane. I like it. I'm down with that. But yeah, so Kane comes out.
I'm gonna have to come up with a phrase for like when they start filling the ring.
We're getting close, but
because they start doing it again here. We don't get another elimination for a minute, and we have Kane in for, or I'm sorry, we have Diesel in for
Diesel, not fake Diesel, just Diesel. Don't worry about it. And then Terry the Funk,
and then we get Terry Funk,
who actually has a surprise for being a guy that's not really ever been had a run in WWE except Chainsaw the Bulls. We don't want to talk about that yet. It was trash. Then, even Mick Foley's like, why would you just be Terry Funk? He had a little bit of a run here.
And then also, we get the most electrifying man.
No, okay, well, before we do that, I just want to say, Terry Funk also I've heard is having a very, he's having a bad time. Last I heard, I think maybe 6-8 months ago, he put a post up saying, please stop sending him things to sign because he's not physically capable. So, it's always sad to see one of the greats like that. And Terry Funk did crazy shit until he was fucking well into his 60s.
Yeah.
So
basically, the Terry Funk fundraisers at this point are not fundraisers. They're Terry Funk, leave me alone. I'm okay. Just let me rest.
Yeah, just let him be. So, appreciate what he's done, And I hope he's doing okay. I haven't heard a lot since that. Maybe it worked. He's kind of being left alone a bit. He's still in Amarillo, Texas, on his farm thing.
Yep.
I hope he's doing well. But yes, then next up is Dwayne. I mean, The Rock. I mean, Rocky
Maivia.
Yeah,
Dwayne
Rocky
Maivia.
Yeah, it's I did note it's funny every time I see him in blue trunks. Like, when you think of The Rock, you think him in black fucking trunks? Nope. If you knew wrestling,
blue trunks with the white boots. That's Flex Cavana.
And he smiles a fucking lot. And I love that he goes on Twitter now and poses in his old shit.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's good.
I can't believe he can fit in anything.
No, The Rock is. I didn't like him a lot when he came back, but I appreciate him more now. Like, I get it. It's good. I like The Rock, and I heard rumors very recently that The Rock may be one of the people trying to get partners involved to buy WWE. Can you imagine?
Yeah, apparently he's childhood friends with the Khan family. Tony Khan, who he used to play with, and Nanachka Khan was is a producer on a lot of his films. So I'm
just saying.
He already bought the XFL. I would like to see the XFL come back first before I make any more conjecture.
Well, my thing about the XFL is I always wanted it to be actual wrestlers. So you remember the NES, Shawn? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had a game called Baseball on the NES. Oh. And I used to make my own custom lineups, mostly of Diamondbacks at the time, but sometimes I would make wrestling lineups, and I pick who would be Scott Steiner would be the best pitcher because he's the strong.
He's got big arms.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, I always wanted sports games featuring WWE that had the wrestler. Like, what was that car game? We played that a lot.
Oh man.
Oh, was it? It was WWE. There was a car. There was a Vigilante 8-esque game.
Crush Hour.
Yes, dude.
Crush Hour.
Remember, we were kids, and we both said, why doesn't the WWE have its own entire brand of Universal? I'm just saying, dude. Why is Vince not paying it, dude? What the?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
He's trying to sell the company to have other people figure it out.
Dude, I'll give you $20 and we'll make this a multi-trillion-dollar company because the Undertaker's coming back and he's gonna fake Kane at WrestleMania.
That'd be easy to do. CG him.
But Funk's there.
After Dwayne, because honestly, nothing remarkable happens for him in this match.
No.
Dwayne's future tag team partner makes his way out. He's having a nice day.
Mick the Mankind Cactus Foley love. Yeah.
Then my favorite of the three Funk brothers, no disrespect to Terry. Flash Funk. You've got Terry, you've got Dory Jr., and you've got Flash, of course.
Yep.
And Flash, my favorite of the three Funk brothers, makes his way to the ring.
So I will say before that happened,
Texas, and Flash, you get me so funky.
Well, before that happened, though, Terry Funk did a weird spot where he basically, the spot where they toss him over the rope, but they don't go over? He did it, but he balanced on his dick for, multiple... Somehow, he's just, teetering on his dick. And Hart goes to toss him, and he's I almost feel like there was some heat between Hart and Funk in this match, because there's multiple spots where they're kind of, not on the same page. You're like, what? Then Mankind, for real, top 5. Foley is good, not God. Good, after all. Fact.
Honestly, it might come down to something as simple as it's in Texas, and Terry Funk wants Shawn Michaels to go over, and Bret Hart is really not a Shawn Michaels fan at this point.
Maybe, but yeah. So Funk, blah blah blah. Flash Funk, not Too Cold Scorpio. Flash Funk, totally different. Don't even think.
Said, my favorite of the three Funk brothers. Flash, Terry, and Dory Funk.
Can I want to give the fans. I want to give the fans a very important fact about Flash Funk. He has a very big penis.
Oh, okay.
Enormous. Mick Foley's told us in his book, it is big. Very big.
But would Virgil dispute this fact?
Well, Virgil disputes everything. The real question is it bigger than Batista's dick?
Is he the Gargonzola gangster? Is he the meat sauce master?
Do we listen to anything Virgil says?
Do.
Well, you do, but I don't listen to people that set up autograph booths in like New York subways. So
you know what? Just to stand 50 feet back from him and take that picture, he's going to charge you $20 and a $30 Olive Garden gift card.
And if you don't, he'll chase you down. He'll get you. So,
but yeah,
no, will. Flash Funk, according to McFoley, big old package, big old long dangly. Batista, we don't know. Someone, if anyone, please tell us. Keep the meme alive.
They called him Flash Funk because of the three Funk brothers. He was the most inclined to flash you.
Is that actually real?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I was gonna say because Shawn, he's a different color. So I mean, to be fair, Devon Bubba, I'm
just saying of the Funk brothers.
Okay, that's fair. But so that happens, and then out comes the man they call the big mastodon Vader. And it's funny because Vader comes out and they treat him like a monster now. Now he's a monster for a while.
Yes. It's just like last year's Royal Rumble, which was actually Vader's debut match. They give Vader the same spot and treatment where he's a monster and he's going to be eliminated by precarious means.
Yeah. So he comes out, dominate. He goes after Mankind, gets Mankind. He goes after Funk. He levels Austin. He even who gets to level Austin? Vader fucking did. But nothing happens really. And then we get the Hog himself. We talked about him. He's here. He's here live, Shawn. The MVP, Hog himself, Henry O'Godwin, who is easily the least
number
important.
29.
Yeah,
Can you
number
imagine
29.
if these days the number 29 in a Rumble was some fucking like not even somebody relevant. It's just fucking Rick Boogs coming out alone.
Hey,
playing.
hey, don't
not even with Shinsuke.
Don't you talk about Rick Boogs? Don't you dare, bro. Have you heard the shreds? Have you heard the shreds, bro? But yes, no. Okay, what if next year the number 21 entrant is SmackDown #1 announcer? Funaki.
Hey, you know what? I'd pop huge for
Funaki. Dude, same. Every time I see him announced, in the pay-per-views, I'm like, oh, fucking Funaki! Oh! But yeah.
It's the Japanese announce table.
Yeah, out comes Henry Godwin. And I said, very forgettable. Didn't really do anything else career-wise. But he does get to take out Vader for a sec, so that's good for him. And then out comes the 30th entrant, Shawn. I know he's one of your guys, so I'll let you... Bong.
You don't really get to do it as cool after you've already had a match, and now you're the 30th man in the Rumble.
Yeah, but now he's not the dead Undertaker. He's the grumpy Undertaker.
He's pissed off from his earlier match.
So he's angry. No big entrance. He looks pissed. I expect him to start beating the fuck out of people, and he does. He just chokeslams a shit ton of dudes for a while there.
Yep, he chokeslams Austin. He actually gives Austin his first major offense for a minute here. And then he chokeslams Vader.
And then
he actually gets Vader higher up on this one than he did earlier in their match.
Yeah, which is good. And then so Vader actually with a cool spot, he does a fall away slam, Scott Hall's.
Yeah, it's a
move.
Blockbuster suplex, I think is what Meltzer called it.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It's not. I'm not saying Meltzer's wrong. It's a fall away slam. Yeah, I've held up in a body slam, and then you flip him over your head. That's a fall away slam. That's what that is, Meltzer. I'm just saying. But yeah, so he does that to Flash Funk over the rope. Looked pretty unpleasant to take, but it's Flash Funk.
Yeah.
They don't care about him,
One interesting thing I took down, this is from Meltzer. He says a trivia note is that if it wasn't for Leon White, there would never be a Too Cold Scorpio. White was at an indie show in Denver where both were living and saw Scorpio and recommended him to New Japan, and the rest is history. So I think that's actually pretty cool.
I feel like that's one of those things, like in wrestling, if you get the right in, cough, cough, beefcake, cough, cough, you're good to go.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I will say we then had it was weird because the camera angle changed for no reason, and it got the camera was overexposed as shit for that fall away slam. And I was like, did something break? But then they go back and replay it on the normal camera, and you're like, what? Why?
It was just a Kevin Dunn call, I assume, just shit production.
We then get Taker doing the double, like where he grabs him by the throat by two hands and lifts you, and he flings Hog. Is it Hog or is it Finn? I don't know.
Yes, that's Hog. Pig is Midian.
Yeah, he throws Hog over the top rope, which they made really important, but it was kind of a shitty bump. It's a big deal. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so he's gone.
Well, it's Undertaker's first elimination.
Yeah, so Mankind gets to take out The Rock. Yeah, Mankind goes on a little run here. He takes out The Rock immediately. So The Rock did a move I've never seen him do. Mankind, sent him to the turnbuckle. Rock leaped onto the second turnbuckle and tried to do like a spinning clothesline, and Mankind caught him with the mandible, which was cool. Like that's what Mankind isn't a great athlete really, but he does know how to make matches interesting. And the man,
from reading Mick Foley's books, he's afraid to take back first bumps, so he doesn't go backwards over things. He will go forward over anything.
Very similar to Flair, who broke his back. Very similar. But yeah, no, Mick Foley, I remember that in the chapter, he got caught by his friends doing, bumps in the park on frozen ground, but he wouldn't take, he took them on his side, which, that's fair. If it's easier to take them on your big old fat Mankind ass, take them on your big old fat Mankind ass.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect example I saw that, I think this is really weird and totally off topic, but it's in WCW Battle Bowl 92, and there's an X of the barricade, like the barricade crosses, and he actually goes backwards over one so that he can go forwards over another one, because he refuses to not land on his front side, which is cool, because it leads to this next spot where he tries to suplex Terry Funk over the top rope, and then they both land on the apron.
Yeah,
which you don't actually see very often in Rumbles. Usually it's like one guy dangling and trying to keep his feet from the ropes. I think this spot is cooler. Yeah, skinning. Yeah, but this is way cooler to see it come close enough, and they're two big enough guys that you could imagine them.
So just to bring that into it, is cool because I do like that Mankind will always throw back, because that happened because Mankind did the cactus clothesline where he goes over with the guy, which is one of the coolest clothesline. Like, it's a very good. They both landed on the apron, and then Mankind was able to eliminate him. So it's cool. I just I don't know, Mankind, Mick Foley, top tier. I love him.
One of the best.
It's good. But I think then we get what? Oh, right. So here's the big hoopla of the match. So all the
bullshit.
So Taker hits Big Boot on Mankind, and Mankind's eliminated. Angry Mankind. He goes, he starts fucking with Funk. They're fighting, right? So there's only two referees, apparently, at this point. They both go over to go, stop fighting. While that happens, Hart cleanly throws Austin over the other side of the ring, over the top rope and out. So Hart assumes he's gone. The referees do not see this.
Which is so bullshit for a Rumble, because since when is it up to an individual official, right?
Yeah.
Like we've never
even
really...
it doesn't matter. So the theory is the referees didn't see it, so Austin is, he goes over.
He's still in it.
He goes back in, and then basically what happens is, Austin comes back in. He eliminates Taker and Vader at once, so two big eliminations. And then he misses it. On the other side, Hart takes out Diesel Kane. And he thinks he's won, but then Austin immediately tosses him, and Austin wins the 1997 Royal Rumble.
A lot of conjecture around this stuff has to do with Meltzer says that too much of the audience knew that Bret Hart was supposed to win this thing.
I don't know.
So...
maybe
that's why they swerved at the last moment and this and that. He gave the match 3 stars, which out of 5 isn't bad for a Rumble.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I do think so. The next pay-per-view is called In Your House Final Four, and I do believe that was
on the fly, I think. Because
according to Meltzer, on the January 20th Wrestling Observer, a week prior to the Rumble, the match was already, or the following pay-per-view was already called that.
Really?
But he said, and let me pull this up real quick, because it'll take me just a moment. but he was suggesting that the final four were going to be, I believe, Vader, Michaels, Brett, and Austin.
Okay.
And not the final four in the Rumble itself.
So I guess the final four is a bit tough because technically it was Taker / Vader, Diesel, Kane, Brett, and Stone Cold. So like it because they got eliminated simultaneously. So
yes,
it's a little bit wonkier, but yeah, okay.
So where is the exact quote?
I don't know. So,
oh God!
While you're looking
just
for that,
through his 97, and I just saw Horace Boulder's name in All Japan, and I'm like, wow,
that's not relevant. But yeah, so while you're looking for that, so after the match, Brett, he's pissed off. So Stone Cold eliminates him, and then Stone Cold basically fucking ejects and just walks up the ramp, going, "I fucking won. Fuck off. I'm Stone Cold."
Right,
Brett, you're getting a little bit of like a heel turn here because Brett attacks several referees, and I said, Austin screwed Brett, damn it. Fact,
all right.
It was Austin.
No, so this is what it says on the week before this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
On the Observer. The pay-per-view from Chattanooga will be called The Final Four, which will be headlined by a four corners match with Sid, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Steve Austin. And WWF will be putting together plans for a 2-hour live USA Network special from 9 to 11 p.m. on 2/13 from Lowell, Massachusetts, because Raw will be preempted that week because of the Westminster Dog Show.
All right. Okay. So basically, it would have been the main event versus the last two, and we're thinking those last two. So yeah, in theory, if Shawn, didn't go into business for himself, right, allegedly with the smile and his knee, didn't want to lose to Brett, so
being stinky and.
Yeah, so we would have seen, the end of that match, almost like, Batista Cena kind of, or, what was it? Brett and who was it? Luger, right?
Yes, Brett and Luger went over simultaneously.
Yeah, so it's almost like something like that, where like I think
that's why WrestleMania 10 had the weird match.
That's in No Mercy. Remember, that's a storyline in No Mercy. If you win the Rumble, you did not, you cheated, and yep, you're in a fucking triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
So
which sucks. So it's easier to lose the Royal Rumble and still win the world title than it is to win the Royal Rumble and then in that triple threat.
Yeah,
I remember.
Also, don't go into that APA match handicap. Impossible.
The barroom brawl?
Impossible.
Oh, it's so hard.
Impossible. But yeah, so Stone Cold wins. There's a lot of stuff going on. We'll get into it more as we go into the future. Like the next one we'll do for the next pay-per-view for 97, we'll obviously have to preempt with the whole Shawn Michaels thing because it was a big thing. It was a big deal. What we know now is, I think Shawn's even admitted he didn't want to lose to Brett in that situation.
So
it's a whole thing.
I just wanted to say this because, a lot of people give shit to Meltzer, and I'm going to give a little bit of shit to Meltzer because
please do. I give him lots of shit.
The newsletter. So if you go on the January 27th, 1997 Wrestling Observer newsletter, I don't think he's going to go back and change what he said, but if you look at the review for this next match, the main event, which I'm just skipping ahead for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
He says, "Cycle Sid, SYCLE, cycle Sid."
So I will admit that when I was trying to type "psycho" inappropriately because they spell it wrong, because why? It autocorrected several times, and I got annoyed and just stopped.
But SYCLE, cycle, isn't a word. And also, this would have been in the days of either him using a typewriter or Microsoft Word just underlining something in red. It wouldn't have autocorrected.
Dave, Uncle Dave, I tried, but I couldn't help you.
Cycle Sid. I think he was just typing faster than he was thinking.
Impossible. I mean, I did this. So what was the rating he gave this Rumble match?
The Rumble match, he gave 3 stars.
3 out of 5. Okay.
Yes, 3 out of 5 stars.
So we're pretty close. So we're pretty close there. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it about that.
Yeah, let's see. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was good. If I could rate this one out of all the greats, there wasn't a ton of filler. There's some undercard guys. The AAA guys were kind of filler. There's always some filler.
Let me ask you real quick off the top of your head, because I know we're about to do the Royal Rumble 02, but off the top of your head, what's your favorite Rumble?
I feel like it might be the one that Lesnar won because I called it and we were live there and I picked him and you picked Taker and I won and you lost. So
I believe that was 03.
It might be that one. I don't know. My favorite. I don't know. It's hard to pick though. Like off the top of my head, that one was one of my favorites. So a lot of people, was it 92 that Flair won, right? Or 93?
Yes, 92 Flair won his own.
I know a lot of people pick that, but I haven't watched it enough. I'll have to watch it and review it live. So like I didn't experience it live. So like my live rumbles, I feel more interested in. The one Edge one when he came back, as Mountain Man Beard Edge, that was a big deal. Even the Cena one, I don't like Cena. I didn't like Cena. That was
actually 2020.
Yeah,
when Edge just came back. That was right before the world shut down.
No. Edge has won 2 rumbles. Hasn't he?
Well, yeah, but I meant Mountain Man Beard, like coming back Edge.
No, that's both. Yeah, no, he came back as Mountain Man Beard Edge when he won a while ago and went to Mania to face Jericho. Which, why did he lose? Like, I'm not going to say, I can't complain that Jericho lost. Jericho's in my top 5 favorite of all time. Is Edge?
Yeah, that was 03. Brock Lesnar won by last eliminating The Undertaker. That was 03. So
I'm just gonna say. So we were 12 and 13 years old, and that was a big deal. We had there was a grip of people at your house. There was probably 4 or 5 dudes there, and we all picked, and I got the first pick, and I picked Brock. Shawn got second. He picked Taker, and then they all picked.
Well, that was the year that SmackDown was the better show to watch. You had Paul Heyman SmackDown or Stephanie McMahon's Raw, so it was just the better show to watch.
That was good. I love Lesnar. I love how
02 was good too, because that's the one that Triple H won when he was a babyface coming back from the quad injury.
Yeah, so, and basically anytime an injured guy comes back, that's always good. Because Triple H, Cena, Edge are like the top 3 surprise entrants. Well, now they put Diesel in there.
My favorite Rumble match would be 99, just because I love that you get to see all 3 faces of Foley in the same match.
That makes the match immediately. Doesn't he immediately run back and he's the next guy out on one of them?
I believe at one point, yes. Yeah. So I think there's one entrant in between the elimination. Okay, so it's like Mankind gets eliminated, somebody else comes out, and then fucking Dude Love.
Now, would you say your favorite Royal Rumble maybe is the one Alberto won?
No.
Oh, no. Big no? Okay. So you're saying that, what about the one that Jericho lost to Sheamus? Still no? No? It's a travesty that Jericho never won a Rumble, and he never will, because Vince will never talk to him again. But
no, I'd say the 2015 Rumble that Brian Daniel won, or Brian Danielson.
Brian
won.
The Man, Daniel. Yeah.
Brian
that was
Daniel.
Yeah, okay, that was good.
That was a good feel good moment.
Dude, I think did we watch live the one where Roman won because Rock helped him, and then Rusev almost won, but then
yes,
everyone was upset. Everybody went no, fuck, god damn it, because we also watched the Shinsuke, that one was hype. I was drunk.
Yep,
that was good, and then they didn't have him ever win the title because Vince doesn't understand foreigners. Basically, I'm just saying, Vince is, I'm white, you're Asian? No.
So, as for the main event, before we get into it, Tony, what do you prefer for a Royal Rumble? Do you like it when the title match comes after the Rumble match, or do you like it when the Rumble match ends the show?
I'm glad you asked, because it really depends on what. So we had it. So it depends. Like, we had a heel technically win the Rumble here.
Right.
And we had a face. So I think it should be opposite. If the face wins the Rumble, the heel wins the other, vice versa.
Right.
But depending on what it is, I think it should be the face wins at the end of the night. So if the face is winning the Rumble, they win the show. So I feel like it was right here, but I still think at the end of the show, again, this is a little wonky because evidently Meltzer knew this was going to be, a little weird. I feel like at the end of the show, after they win, you should have the heel that won the Rumble come out to the top of the stage, do the belt pose, point, do some posing, be like, hey, here's our next feud, I feel like they didn't do that here. I feel like just because it was, a big Michaels homecoming kind of thing. But I think generally,
the other side of that is that they're trying not to give credence to the fact that this is basically also Stone Cold's hometown.
Yeah, no, because Stone Cold's obviously he's from Texas.
He's from Victoria, Texas, which is basically outside of San Antonio, Texas.
And they're trying, and he's a heel here. I mean, again, I feel like at this point he's a tweener. He's getting a lot of cheers. He's trying to be a heel, but he's one of those heels that people, they want to fucking cheer for. He's not like Triple H, where everyone wishes he was dead. He's not Jeff Jarrett, where evil in your face. Why are you? Stop it. No one likes you. Go away.
This is before the double turn at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, no, this is like this is like
there's a reason the double turn worked, and it's because you've clicked the button in EWR that says prepare to turn.
Yeah, this is
so
like
that when it comes to this moment, the audience is expecting something.
This is Daniel Bryan, where he turned on AJ, and everyone went, "Fucking thank you, give him a title, god damn it." I don't care that he's the bad guy; he's the world's champion. Good. Also in wrestling, why is the non-alcoholic, non-drug user, vegan, why are they the heel? Always. They're, without fail, they're the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Meanwhile, Jeff Hardy, I don't love Jeff, but I respect him. Again, that CM Punk feud where he was the good guy. Hey, I just like to have fun. Didn't you, do a lot of drugs and drive around? That I don't. We'll talk about that because that's a thing that happens. I think in our other series, right?
Oh yeah.
I think I was at that. That's a good return. But no, I like to see opposite. So if the heel wins the Rumble, I'd like the Rumble to be second to last. Let the let the face win at the end of this, because I feel like the faces should win at the big show. So Mania, SummerSlam, Rumble. King of the Ring's not it, they treat it like shit. I don't know, but
I have a tape set called the Classic 5 of '98, but we've always referred to the Big 4. So.
Yeah, it's the Big 4. And again, thank God AEW doesn't do monthly pay-per-views. Eric Bischoff's even said monthly pay-per-views were one of the big downfalls of it. It's dumb. So good. But no, that's what I prefer. If a heel wins the Rumble, I don't mind, but the face needs to go over in the main event. And then if a face wins the Rumble, let the heel, win in the main event, cheat a little bit, get it. But I want a confrontation to build at the end.
Right.
It's just like, you just won the Rumble. Come out here and fuck. Hey, you beat one dude. I beat fucking 30. Let's go. Austin 316 says, I just stepped on your nuts. I'm pretty sure that's
so. For the main event, though, it's not that long of a match after coming from almost an hour long.
No. Very short.
Rather, hour-long Royal Rumble match. This match was actually shorter than, I believe, the AAA match earlier in the night, or it's about the same length. I'm probably wrong.
I've got them pulled up.
It's 3 minutes longer. So
So this match went. Are you ready for this? About 3 minutes less than the Triple H Goldust match. So just reinforcing our Triple H. Although again, if Michaels actually had the flu, I can imagine him saying, "You want me to carry this fucking idiot for 20 minutes?" No.
Yeah, no way.
Impossible.
But I don't actually have a whole lot to write about this match because it was very slow, and it seemed like basically the match was being carried by the crowd.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels knew that he was in his hometown. He knew that, some fucking teenage girl was there from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So they were milking the crowd.
Yeah. So I will say, Michaels had a pretty, I want to mention a little bit. So before it happened, Michaels had a promo, basically alive. They immediately walked out to the ring. And some people say Michaels was, he's the greatest in-ring performer. It's him or Brett, the argument, Kurt maybe. I'm a Michaels guy. But a lot of people don't like Michaels' promos, at least early on until he got, into his second run. Yeah. I think he did. I think the best thing about him is he has a really good voice, if that makes sense.
Right.
Michaels has a great voice. And so his promos immediately sound good. And they had a promo where he's basically going, I got the flu. I'm sick. I look ugly. No, Michaels, you're beautiful. Winky blinky. Mm-hmm. And he does a little interview. He comes out. It's not a big intro. Michaels is known for some of his big intros. This is literally, it's the same intro, but with a cowboy hat. But it goes over fucking huge. This if he loses here, it would be similar to this if Cena wins we riot thing. It would not have gone over well.
Oh yeah, no. They set this up for this to be the homecoming of Shawn.
Yeah.
I just think it would have made more sense had Sid not just come in, just won the belt, and now he's going to drop it again. Like if it had been Vader, who was a threat to Shawn the entire year up to this point, it would have made more sense. So, but I mean, stories were told differently in the days of magazines and not going back and watching.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, Shawn came out. I want to mention, is that the most iconic, wrestling theme of all time? Possibly.
Oh, Sexy Boy is probably it's up that there. Or it's Real American or it's No Chance in Hell. It's one of those.
No Chance in Hell. I might put. Yeah, I don't know who else would be. It's one of that. Maybe Taker's, but Taker's technically changed quite a bit.
I would say John Cena's before Taker's, unfortunately.
Yeah, but which one? His current one.
The John Cena sucks song.
Because I actually like the old one. I liked his old rap song.
The Doctor of Thugonomics.
Yeah, but no, I would put Michaels easily in that top 5, and I think more impressively, he sang the lyrics. I mean, I know I don't know who it was. You have to tell me who sang the original song. I forgot her name. Embarrassing.
Oh, it was Sherry. That was sensational, Sherry.
Thank you. There you go. See, I put it here. Shawn will remember, though. But yes, iconic song, and also one of the longest lasting of all time without changing. Like, because Stone Cold's changed, Rock's changed. Remember
they had him come out to different shit for a minute, and then they were like, that didn't work.
Yeah, remember, I think like the Rock's was a lot different all the time. Remember, like even on, was it the Volume 4 he came out? Oh yeah, they didn't put his theme out there.
Remix, every time he comes back, he still gets a new remix.
Yeah, even Stone Cold, like it evolved, it hit the point, it went down. I think the Disturbed one, I think that was severely underrated. I thought that was pretty good.
Good
he only came out to that once or twice, if that.
Well, it was before the heel turn.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Is they had to change it to an angrier song after the heel turn.
But
which was the worst song.
Yeah, we'll have to go because Shawn's a music guy, so we'll have to do a duo video of our combined top 5s.
Give me your meat and potatoes on this match, because the one thing I really want to talk about is the ending to this match, because it is not only is it the most Pat Patterson ending to any match of the evening, but Pat Patterson is involved in the ending to this match.
Before I say that, I will say. Last thing I'm going to say about Sexy Boy, the song, it did spawn the greatest cover ever made by a human of Sexy Kurt.
Sexy Kurt. Yes, great song.
No one can cover a song better, but yeah.
It'll make your ankle hurt.
And so I never loved Sid. Whatever, dude's jacked. I will say again about themes, I like to get weird. I hated his theme as a kid, but I kind of like it now. It's a little weird and off-putting. Out of time,
psycho theme.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Earl Hebner's the referee, also.
Yes, so Earl's back from the first match. Here's his.
Also, hold on. Spot of spots shirt. We get a fucking crossbody into a power slam, baby. It lives on. Oh, yes. It looked like shit. It was the worst one of the Boss Man Earthquake was better. I don't know.
When you're going to do a spot, like a crossbody into a power slam, don't you think both guys should be around the same height?
Yeah, but so my problem is, like, if not, you would think that it would be really easy for Sid to catch Shawn and just flop him. But no.
Well, see, Sid plays softball. He doesn't wrestle. So he's catching softballs, not grown men.
Yeah, so it was ugly, but the meme lives on. It continues. I'm going to go through here. Shawn Michaels does the classic, he's over the top rope. He gets whipped into the rope and flips over. I will say he took that one pretty aggressive. Like, Shawn's bumping. He's bumping tonight. He is. He's got his bumping shoes on.
Oh, yeah. The best spot in the match, and I don't mean to jump too far ahead of you.
No, go ahead.
Is when Sid backdrop Michaels.
Yes.
Onto the floor.
Yeah. So we can skip that because there's a lot of bear hugs. Like, okay, so I'm going to go into bear hugs. We talked about it in the last episode because fucking stop bear hugging. I'll give 2 wrestlers credit with bear hugs. Sid's looked okay, and Lesnar's are great. Maybe it's just because I hate Hogan, so watching Hogan bleed from his mouth and be bear hugged to that, it was great. But Sid's are
Hogan
okay.
Warrior have the worst.
They were rubbing each other inappropriately, Shawn. Meltzer would, but they are. No, they are. I'm just saying. But yeah. So also here, here's where the signs come in. Out of nowhere, in fucking hard camera view, NWO signs. Like 4 of them. NWO. And I can feel like, it's funny because as soon as they go up, you hear Vince's voice go from announcer Vince to, I'm going to announce, but what the fuck, Vince?
Yeah. Oh, he's mad. And I did take note of that too. Is like, you can tell when the hard camera is switched to the wrong camera as far as Vince being producer Vince versus announcer.
Because he saw them from where he saw, because he got fucking pissed.
God damn it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a bunch of those. But I also want to say, as a wrestling fan, signs are great, but I also fucking hate them because like people use them inappropriately. Like during a match, no signs. During entrances, signs, cool. But during a match, if you hold a sign up behind you, I can't see, and I'm getting ready to give you a drop kick to the back of the fucking skull.
Yes, agreed.
And I don't know about you, but I've always been that guy that I don't want to inconvenience other people. So like I'd take signs, I'd be like, here it is. Can you see over me? Cool. Except 2 shows. Yeah. I was drunk at them both. Someone told me that they're going to get me ejected because I was telling Kane to burn Rey Mysterio. This was a Taboo Tuesday.
Oh. Was there not a vote on that one? Was there not a vote?
There was a vote, and I was in favor of Kane, as was Josh. And we got a person. Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about like a live show event, but also the time that I really went when Punk kicked Jeff Hardy out of WWE cage match. I was there live, and I had some people really upset at me because I didn't love Jeff Hardy. I like Punk, but yeah, fuck signs. I love them, but just know when to use them, people, please. During this match, in the middle of it, don't hold up. Like, there's a couple, like, during the Rumble. Don't hold up a Bret Hart sign in front of people during the fucking Rumble. Just don't be that person.
Yeah.
I get that you're on hard cam.
Before the days of sign etiquette, right?
Yeah, I think
sign etiquette became established once everybody brought theirs, and that's also when it became its worst, because you're supposed to hold it up when they do the hard cam of the crowd.
And then put it down. You're done. Put it down.
Not during the matches. Yeah. And if somebody's entrance pertains to your sign, you can hold it up during their entrance. And then you put it down. But then
also, if nowadays you can't. Like, if you try and go into there with a Daniel Bryan sign,
that day one killer graphic said they're encouraged to bring signs, and if there's an empty seat next to you, to put your sign in it to fill in 2 seats at once. That's why I think it's fake. That just doesn't seem fun.
I feel like that's something they would do though, but legit, we know that people get, was it a couple when AEW was starting up, people wore a shirt, took it off, had an AEW shirt, and they were ejected from the arena.
Oh yeah,
for having hold on.
And the whatchamacallit, the Thunderdome, they were, Kenny Omega was there.
He was on the Thunder. That was the highlight of the entire Thunder, by far, was that. No question.
You went bear hug mode, and then like I mentioned, the Sid backdrop Michaels over the top rope onto the floor. That was actually my favorite spot in the whole match.
Sid hits a big leg drop. I will say Sid's leg drop looked okay, and I then said, did everybody in the business have a better leg drop than Hogan? Yes, absolutely. So HBK body slammed him, which was cool.
Floor, though, Sid actually went out there. And gave him a power bomb onto the mats.
Yeah, which was probably the high spot of the match, really. Because I know it's onto the mats, but it's still a power bomb outside.
Because this is when the Patterson shit starts, right? Because he...
he grabs Lothario Jr. and Sr.
Yes.
He grabs them both, and he's goozling them. He's goozling them both. But then HBK stands up, and he goes, never mind. and then
Michaels jumps on Sid.
Yeah,
he just jumps on him. But then a ref bump. Classic, the ref bump. So a ref bump. So as they roll into the ring, Sid whips Michaels into Hebner. Hebner goes down into a choke slam. I will say, no ref to count though.
I will say I hate choke slams. Some wrestlers can pull them off. Some can't. Sid, not so much. Not a good one.
No, don't think so.
Yeah, it's like Hogan's, his choke. It's not slam. It's like a choke press down slightly. Remember?
No, I think there's 3 choke slams in the business. They belong to Big Show, Paul White. They belong to Kane, and they belong to Undertaker. That's it.
Yeah, anyone else that does one is not like I honestly thought that Sid Vicious's finish was a powerbomb.
Fourth choke slam. Hurricane.
Thank you. Hey, see, we're on the same wavelength. You can never say that. It's not that. But yeah, so like his choke slam was, I thought his finish was the powerbomb. I might be wrong. Maybe it was a choke slam. But they acted like it was a choke slam here because
it's both. The powerbomb is his finisher. The choke slam's a signature move. Okay, so I guess there we go. Doing one after the other because he can't pin him outside the ring, so he's going to take him in. So
I do want to go off onto a tiny tangent again. I know we're going long, guys. Welcome to the fucking podcast, but I know a lot of people hate these spots where there's a ref bump and the guy's down for 10, 12, 15 seconds and then kicks out of a 3 count. But like, think about it logically. If you've been knocked out, you have more time to go, oh shit, no, kick out. But also think about all other sports, even what you're doing. Like it's a, instinctive. If you're laying there, nothing, you're kind of out of it like, fuck. Suddenly you hear, a ref smacking, you're like, shit, kick out. So I don't hate that spot. I know some people do. I think it's okay. As long as it's not,
it depends on the move that precedes it. Like if it's
the Triple H Booker T one, I will exempt from this. That was just, I don't want.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk. That was probably 30 seconds of Booker just being dead. But like this one, I get it. Michaels, it's a choke slam, so it's not like it was devastating. It wasn't a big deal. It was just, and he kicked out. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, little tangent. It's cool. So Sid gets mad because he can't fucking do it. He just punches the fucking referee, and not with like a worked punch. He like clubs him over the fucking like collarbone.
Yep.
Aggressively, which didn't look safe. And then, so Lothario Sr., I think it was Sr., distracts Sid.
The junior is actually named Pete. I don't know that they say that on
I just call him Junior, but he's back in his seat. He got choked by a man, just went, I'm gonna sit down now. Yeah. But so the older man is up distracting Sid, and they hark back to, I love when they do that though. Like, I love when storylines hark back. Yeah. So Michaels takes a camera and beats the fuck out of Sid a couple times.
So yeah, that's the thing. Is this a soft turn for Michaels? Because that's a heel thing to do.
But is it though? So if you're a face and you use a heel's tactic, I feel like you're just a smart face, right?
I think no, because that's what made Edge the ultimate opportunist and a heel to begin with.
Yeah, I think also, it really depends on who it is, I guess. Yeah.
After you've seen every singles match of the night end in precarious tactics other than the Rumble match, it doesn't work for the babyface.
Like, I just want to say that, like,
every match spilled outside. Every match had foreign objects. Yeah, every single match.
I want to be that guy. I'm going to say it, and I know, Meltzer would agree with me here, even though I hate him. Like, at least AEW doesn't do fucking fluky finishes often. It's usually decisive or a draw.
But they do fluky starts. That's my problem with AEW is they jump start every match. So like Goldust attacked Triple H on the ramp. That's every AEW match. Start.
That's fair. But yeah, so
there's Dustin Rhodes right there to fucking book the AEW match for him. So who knows?
Yeah, so he took him out, and we figured that was him. But no, because clearly he's not going to win with cheap tactics. Sid kicks out. And Shawn Michaels, he tunes up the band. Boom, boom, tunes it up, hits the sweet chin music, and wins. A slow, dramatic 3 count. It was a one, because Hebner's counting, and he's loopy.
The end of that match was shot so they could put that on videotapes.
Absolutely,
I swear.
Yep, I agree.
Meltzer said something about it too. He said the post-match celebration for Michaels' second title win beat the pants off the celebration for his first win and most title change wins, which says a lot more for the venue than for the quality of the respective matches. And
so I was going to ask, I was going to say that. So hold on. So this is Michaels' second. So his first was Brett, and this is the second time he won, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering that, but yeah. So, I mean, I get that because he's the hometown boy. I don't know. I thought the first one was more, I don't know, like authentic, maybe feeling. Yes.
Well, and I disagree with Meltzer's take. I think that
I agree.
The first one was at Mania in a smaller arena, so there was more people to react. It's not a matter of whether the reaction was as strong. I think that there were more people here in the Alamo Dome, so it sounded louder.
So what did he give it?
2 stars
out of 5. Okay, I'm going to give my whole take. So I gave it a 6 out of 10. So I went well over a medium match. He went well below.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I said, as much as I love Michaels, can't go crazy over this one. It had its moments. It had its drama. The crowd being really hot helped a lot. There's only so much you can do with Sid, especially in a shortened match. It's not going to be amazing. It was good for what it was. HBK carried it as expected. Comeback win. We kind of expected that. Fun at the end where Michaels was talking to his family after, and he, this is where we get into the aftermath. He talked, he told Vince some stuff, called out Vince as basically the owner, gave Vince a little booty shake, traditional Michaels shit. And I gave it a 6 out of 10. I didn't think it was that bad. Maybe I haven't seen the other match they had where, it was rated higher. Maybe that would adjust this. Right. But just in the moment watching this match, because here's the thing, if Meltzer's going to rate this that low, he can't rate Hogan and Rock high because their match wasn't good.
Well, and here's the thing, he actually doesn't, and he's given more Young Bucks matches in AEW in the past 2 years 5 stars than he's given any Kurt Angle match ever.
Well, because Kurt Angle's zero Kurt Angle matches. None.
He's never given a single Kurt Angle match 5 stars ever. And he's given almost every Young Bucks match 5 stars. So I do believe Meltzer's scale is based off of a match of that
what he thinks they can do.
Caliber.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rather than a grand scale of objective, here's a 5-star match. It's a 5-star Young Bucks match. And I don't know that everybody gets that or agrees with it, and he might disagree with it. I don't know. That's my opinion of Dave's opinion.
I mean, that makes sense. So but just going off this one, I'm a little bit. I think it was for the night for what I saw compared to I think that's what it is. I can say, has Michaels had 5-star matches? Yes. A lot. Many people, many times. Against Sid in this event with this card, where does he rank? It was above average. It wasn't good, but it was fine. I'd say it was probably, other than the Rumble, easily the match of the night. It was the best match.
So what Meltzer ended up saying for his grand review of the show was the attendance was the story of the show, and the saving of the show, which saw Shawn Michaels capture the WWF title from Sid in the main event and Steve Austin win the Royal Rumble in a late swerve. Those at Titan believed too many fans knew that the original plan of Bret Hart winning and were concerned, perhaps overly so, that Vic Venom, Vince Russo, had given it away. He predicted it a la a Mark Madden gimmick where he knows a planned finish and then predicts it to get himself over, to make himself look smart on their own live-wire television show in the early days of the promotion to this show. Venom later came back the next week after getting heat and said nobody could predict the winner of a bout like a Royal Rumble. It was a classic case of reactive booking instead of proactive booking. The problem with reactive booking means those who are supposed to be in control are no longer in control, and they are reacting to forces rather than creating and controlling the forces. This is not meant as a knock on it, because if the end result is still Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania, the long-term battle plan has changed along the way, but still has the ultimate destination. The change in Rumble plans changed the Four Corners match on the 216 Chattanooga pay-per-view from having the supposed top 4 in the WWF, Sid, Michaels, Austin, and Bret Hart, to the final 4 of the Rumble, Bret Hart, Austin, Vader, and Undertaker, with the title shot at Michaels at WrestleMania being the stake to the winner, which we know is wrong because Michaels ends up losing his smile,
abdicating his title. I mean, after we will talk about that because that's before the next event. But so I don't know. I know Meltzer knows a lot, but I feel like you can if you preactively book, that's cool. But if you're we saw that if you just say Roman Reigns wins everything, he's not going to be a fucking face. No one cares. Now that he's an angry, pissed off, stupid, like, he's so much better now that he's winning everything but a heel. Like, it's just, I don't know. But yeah, so that was his thing. I'm going to give mine because he doesn't give stars of the night, does he? Huh?
No, not of the whole night. We do get the reader polls, so I'll give you that once. But that's not his. That's the readers of the Observer. So I'll give you that after you.
All right. So I'm going to give my 3 stars. Classic, because we're not doing 5 stars. Fuck Meltzer. We're doing 3. Hockey. We love Canada. Bret Hart, Gretzky, Bacon. Maple. Number 3.
Park Boys.
Number 3. Bret Hart. And I'm going to give this one to him just almost out of, there's nobody else to give it to. Like, my top 2 are pretty obvious. And Bret Hart was like the second best competitor in the Rumble. He had the best, there's not a lot to give it to. So I'm giving it to Bret. You can't go wrong giving Bret one of the top 3 stars. Number 2, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels carried Sid to what I say, not Meltzer, is an above average match with the flu. Big reaction. Makes sense. He was good. Nothing to complain about. Number 1, Ahmed Johnson. Wait.
All right.
No, hold on. Fuck, I typed that wrong. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shit, hold on. I mixed them up.
What?
Yeah, Austin was the number 1 star. We'll have to look, but I don't know if anyone's dominated a Rumble quite this much. He had 10. Meltzer said 11. Wikipedia says 10. He had 10 or 11 eliminations. Was in the match for 45 minutes, which is double plus Bret Hart, who was the second, and won the match. I know it was a little fluky, but I feel like as a heel, it was fluky, like a smart fluke. Right. And wait, before you go, we have a bonus star.
Oh, bonus
as is
star.
Tradition here, a bonus star. But this is a new one. This is the bonus star of shit.
Oh.
Can you guess who it may be?
That's Ahmed Johnson.
Yes, and Ahmed Johnson's won the bonus star of shit. Just know. And here we go. I have to watch him for this whole fucking year. I think we need to rediscuss watching all of the shows from this year, Shawn, because
Great googly moogly.
I can't deal with this. Peace out, and then that's it. If when we put this up, we'll have to throw on my notes because everyone wants to read my notes, not Meltzer's notes. And I did throw on the entire Wikipedia thing of the entire entrance and exit. I didn't write it out myself because I got smart this time and went, oh, well, they did it for me. So I just stole it from there. But yeah, the whole show's over. I gave the show overall a 6 out of 10.
All right. Well, the readers of the Observer, of a total of 165 readers, and they used to take this stuff from phone calls and faxes, so it's a little bit harder than just clicking a button on a website, right?
That's fair. Yep.
71 of them gave it a thumbs up, 76 of them gave it a thumbs down, and 18 of them gave it a thumbs in the middle. So that means 43% thumbs up, 46.1% thumbs down, 10.9% thumbs in the middle. So yeah, this was considered a thumbs down event by the Observer readers, which was surprising to me too.
I agree. Yeah, like I'm not saying it's great, but I think a 6 out of 10 is about it. It's not bad. It's a little bit better than what you expect.
This is probably going to be a lot easier to watch than the Rumble we're going to watch for real later this month. I don't know that you're actually going to watch it, but I will habitually watch a Royal Rumble just because it is my favorite event.
Are you saying the 2022 whatever year?
I'm saying that this 1997 Rumble is probably better than the 2022 Rumble stands to be when at the moment they are standing to promote day one and they haven't mentioned the Rumble for fuck all.
Yeah, I mean, that's also because you know how sad I am that KO didn't go to AEW. Like, I get, like they're paying you like $3 million allegedly a year, so like I get it's hard to leave, but I really wanted him in AEW.
So the Observer said that the match of the night was the Rumble match itself, and the worst match was the 6-man tag, the Triple A tag.
So I did give the Rumble a 7 out of 10, so highest rating of the night. But I gave the lowest. I'm scrolling through here. It was not that. I think it was the Farook Ahmed match. In fact,
okay.
Hold on. There's a lot of Rumble here. So 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 for Taker Vader. Yeah, I gave the Ahmed Farook a 2 out of 10. So worst of the night, Farook Ahmed. So Meltzer, why are you promoting Ahmed? He sucks. Don't do that. He's trash. But yeah. So I don't know. I guess interesting. So Meltzer and I were kind of similar in some stuff, but he definitely thought the main event sucked more than the Ahmed match, which that makes sense with what you said, where he's going off of a wrestler's potential. Because if it's an Ahmed match like that, if that's Ahmed's potential, that might have been a 10 out of 10 right there. That might have been the greatest Ahmed match we'll ever see.
If it's going off their potential, and that is one of my that's the only way that I'm able to give credence to Meltzer's ratings. But no, I don't think he said it was better. I think he gave it a 1.5 for the Ahmed match, and then a 2-star for the Sid and Shawn match. So
okay, so it's close. He hated it the most, but okay. So it was the viewers that said okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like that's pretty close. We'll see what happens as we go on, but that was the entire.
We're going to take ourselves a little break from 97 because we can't stand to watch more Ahmed right away. We're going to have to go into Royal Rumble 92 or not 92.
No, don't say that. Well, that's late.
Well, hey, I would like to see Ric Flair win the title. That sounds fun. But,
dude, we have a lot of content, so someday, if you guys want to see that, fucking comment, like, thumbs up, follow shit, spam us with that. We will we have some space. We can throw it in there.
Yeah, we'll be watching the Royal Rumble 2002, wherein Triple H wins after he comes back from a quad injury. My
name's Shawn, and I spoil wrestling history for my viewers. I'm sorry. To be fair, I mean, I'm going to say, if you guys are watching us for wrestling history, what? No.
I assume history means they know who wins the battle. They just want to know more about the battle, right?
We can only hope. And more about the battle is our rambling opinions, because we don't know shit.
It's a big deal. I mean, Triple H is basically the top babyface because Austin's out, The Rock's in Hollywood, and
for sure that is one of the top 5 greatest returns in the Rumble match. So which I'll have to do. I mean, it's sad because I know he
returned earlier that month to I think it was Madison Square Garden.
I think so. Yeah.
And that is one of, if you wanted to compare a crowd reaction like CM Punk's just return after 7 years to a crowd just popping, Triple H's return is up there. I wouldn't usually say that, but it was up there.
No, really I mean. I think, well, to be fair, though, we also have to think about, like, Diesel's return in the Rumble recently. Also got a insane popular. Like, hold on.
They had to dye Kevin Nash's hair and everything.
Yeah, poor guy. But it's okay, because I thought his sister thought he was dead. Hey, Punk. I love Punk. I will never go against Punk, except that I hate that he banned. I don't even hate that he left WWE, because maybe, I don't know. That's a whole other story. But this was the Rumble 97, guys.
Yes, and we would appreciate, by the time that this one drops, we should hopefully be able to be taking questions.
Absolutely,
because right now we're trying to get ahead on our schedule. So we haven't exactly taken questions per event yet. But
we did. We took the first video. To be fair, if you send us messages, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it.
I just meant like listener questions about the event. So like right now, I would say some listener questions about the Royal Rumble 97. We don't have those yet.
I mean, if you have questions about this event or in general about wrestling, just shoot us a fucking message. We'll tweet it. We'll do, who knows? If we get a lot of questions, we might do a video going, hey, these people asked us this. We're going to discuss it. And we'll credit you. We'll say, hey, this guy asked us first. He wants to know how much we love D'Lo Brown. 10 out of 10. We love him.
For the time being, if you have questions about whatever we've covered, we'll brush up on them. If you have questions about the next event we're going to cover, maybe we'll get to them in that episode. If you want to get a hold of us, that's TalkingSmarkWrestling@gmail.com or @talking_smark on Twitter. Or soon, you should be able to catch us on Twitch doing a couple streams. Streams.
A couple streams. Yeah, a couple streams, bro. No, we're going to be everywhere. Everywhere on all of our things, there'll be a link tree. We'll have everything. Just go follow everything. That's if you want to talk to us, spam us on everything. That's the way to do it, because we have lives, we're busy. But if you hit us on everything, one of us will notice and we'll say something. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it so much. Everyone that watches is fantastic.
I guess we're signing off.
Peace, bitches.